welcome to another DCU Daily. We are here to start the week, a little bit late, but that's okay. We are still here to talk to you about all the pop culture news, not just DC, but all sorts of things we have for you today. Of course, Super Bowl Sunday was yesterday, so we have a lot to talk about in regards to that. A lot of trailers and the such. But the thing we usually open up with is box office. We had a couple things, happen over this rather slow weekend due to the Super Bowl, of course, but we still have a couple things to talk about. Then we are going to dive into MCU Weekly. We have so many things, and I mean so many things to talk about in regards to that. We have a lot of scooping and rumors in regards to for the upcoming Doomsday, as well as Spider-Man Brand New Day. Then you have, Crime 101 is happening soon, and that has 3 Marvel stars, 1 Fox X-Men star, and 2 MCU stars, and even a Bex star in there too. But we will be talking about that because a couple of interviews have been, surrounding the idea of Thor and Storm being in the same film together. So we're going to be talking about that. Then we're going to be talking about the newly released Wonder Man, and then a couple quick hits that are nice, as well as diving into Super Bowl trailers. There were a lot of trailers, and I mean a lot. And so we're going to dive into all of those. We're gonna rate them, and in a very special kind of way. And then we get into our quick hits. We have, as I was saying, Super Bowl stuff. We have award season stuff. We have a lot of casting stuff, and then of course the true star of the show, DCU Daily. We're going to be talking about our DC quick hits, of course, and then a little bit of what did Gunn say, and then some news on Paradise Lost, possibly. We'll see. And then, of course, one of the many trailers we got a new Supergirl trailer, kind of, sort of, with the Puppy Bowl. And with Puppy Bowl, introduces puppies. We saw a little bit of a flashback, Krypto, and I think all the dog lovers were very, very happy to see that. And I think it's definitely a lot better than, Guy Gardner showing off the bowl cut. Definitely an improvement. So all of that and more after this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful news intro. So let's get into that proper.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number 2.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
Robert
You're
Downey.
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne. I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Ooh, you caught me snacking. Don't worry. Not a lot of snacking, but a little bit of crunch. But here we are. I'm eating a little bit of a s'mores dip right now. But, of course, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the news, of course. So, we have D. Cole in the chat. He was saying hello. And then, of course, we have Ron. Ron, yo, lovely to see you, my boy. And then Hugo Millie, I think that's you. The handles are pretty hard to see nowadays, but you are very excited to see me. Hello, very excited to see you. I mean, it's always excited to see a very attractive Kristen Ritter with vampire teeth, even if it is from a Taika Waititi show, but that's okay. But anyway, guys, hello, welcome. Nice to see you too. Lovely to see you as always. So, of course, as you know, Hugo Millie spoiled for the new people. If there are new people, I'm your host, John. Lovely to see you. Dan is off doing a special little thing off camera, so he is going to be joining us soon. But I wanted to get into the proper news before I filibuster too long. So let's get into it. first things first is, of course, box office stuff. Now, as I open my sparkling water, I will say the box office was a little bit slow for obvious reasons. Mainly, well, for some people due to the weather. I know for where I am, it was definitely due to the weather. But the weather was not fun this past weekend. But in addition to that, of course, we also have the Super Bowl. Not a ton of people are going to the movies because, you know, they like the groping of men a little bit too much, but also Bad Bunny. Not Kid Rock, because fuck Kid Rock, but Bad Bunny definitely bringing in the people, breaking records. I think it was like 135 million people watched the halftime show, so that was fun. But Melania, the first lady, documentary film, use the term film very loosely, propaganda piece, plunges to 67%. Yeah, 67. To ninth place, Send Help remains number one in a glacial Super Bowl weekend. As we all know, Send Help has been killing it recently due to the amazing comeback of Sam Raimi. Send Help remained in first place with 10 million from 3,475 North American venues, a 47% drop from its 19.1 million debut. 47% drop. That's a pretty fucking good drop, too, especially over a very busy weekend. Then, of course, we do have a little bit of Super Bowl stuff. Just like totally, I'm pretty sure Iron Lung is still in theaters, so I think they're just kind of erasing that, but that's, you know, it's that technically Iron Lung would be the biggest threat to Hollywood right now. So, you know, it's you know, makes sense. I did not watch the game. I'm not the biggest football fan. Like I like football's okay. I'm not the biggest sports guy. I much prefer baseball. If I had to pick a sport, I'd pick baseball. I'm a big baseball guy. Well, big, use it very loosely. But my preference is baseball. But I still like kind of follow football a little bit. Like I keep up to date with it. And as you can, you know, you guys can see, Giants fan. So I was very happy with the fact that the Patriots lost. I will say that that was definitely the highlight of my day yesterday. So always good. Go Birds. You know, yes, you're a punk rocker. Totally not part of the establishment. I heard the Super Bowl was pretty bad. Yeah, apparently it was, honka honka, but yeah, apparently the game was just punts, kicks, and all sorts of really it did not feel very much like a Super Bowl. Um Everyone knows the best sport is good old fashioned wrestling. Yeah, another wonderful sport where men just grope each other and making grunting and moaning noises. Uh, yeah, and guess what? They won. Just saying, that's more than the Cowboys, you know, who haven't been in a Super Bowl before my existence. So, just saying, anything. Well, yeah, of course, but fuck them. Fuck Pats fans. They can eat a dick. One thing, I mean, when you're looking at puppies for 2 hours, of course that's not going to be bad. Unless you hate puppies. When, like, who the fuck hates puppies? You know, I think, ugh. But yeah, even the worst will like a puppy. Like, come on. John Wick loves puppies. And if you don't like puppies, then John Wick will come after you. Krypto is in very much a good boy, and we'll talk about him soon. But the next thing we will be talking about, another big box office milestone, is Marty Supreme becomes A24's highest grossing movie ever, with near $149 million worldwide, ahead of China's March release. As we did talk about, I think sometime last week, that China did eventually approve of Marty Supreme playing in theaters over there. So, you know, That's really awesome. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate because the director is a piece of shit, but it's still a great movie. Kind of weirdly underrated. Definitely an underdog, if I do say so myself. Um, because I thought the movie was fantastic, but nobody seems to be talking about it, at the exception of maybe Timothy Chalamet. But it was, despite a recency bias, it seems like not a lot of people are really talking about this one. So I just find that to be interesting. And then finally, for international box office, Stray Kids struck to number one at global box office with near $20 million. Zootopia is roaring to almost $2 billion. Uh, Disney keeps winning because it's like, oh, Avatar versus Zootopia too. It's like both are Disney, so both are winning. So, you know. But the housemaid vacuums up. Very interesting choice of words. $350 million worldwide. Yeah, wow, crazy thought. You have Sydney Sweeney in a bunch of ugly roles that with no marketing, nobody goes to see them, and then you have a movie with marketing where Sydney Sweeney shows off the booba, and it makes money. There's a simple formula, guys. Just saying. But Stray Kids, I don't know what this is, but oh, it's a K-pop thing. Okay. I'm not in it with the kids. I'm not in it with the Stray Kids, it seems like, because no fucking clue what the Stray Kids even are. So, sorry to all you K-pop fans and Stray Kids fans. But yeah, it seems like you got like a, international T-Swift thing going on. Yes, that is very much me. How do you do, fellow kids? I just need 2 skateboards, a backwards hat, and to look like Steve Buscemi. But that is it for the news portion of the show. Now we're going to be moving on to MCU Weekly. MCU Weekly. So the first thing, of course, we have to get into, of course, is rumor mill stuff. We're going to be getting into rumors. Yay, rumors, our favorite thing. So, first things, I did read about this a little bit, like a couple days ago, but we're bringing it in here. But apparently, Marvel Studios is plotting a Devil's Reign inspired movie featuring Daredevil, Spider-Man, and more. According to Cosmic Circus, and slash Alex Perez, they've been hit and miss. I feel like they are starting to hit a little bit more, but still take it with a grain of salt. We never know. You know, get the yes. If you know, you know. According to Cosmic Circus's Alex Perez, I have heard the idea thrown around for the upcoming saga to feature a crossover team-up film that would serve as the epilogue of the Devil's Reign storyline that technically started all the way back in Hawkeye with the appearance of Wilson Fisk. The idea would be to feature street-level heroes from New York City affected by Fisk's reign of terror against vigilantes, and we would see the likes of the usual suspects: Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, the Punisher, aka the Defenders plus Punisher, and more team up to take down Wilson Fisk and his enforcers in a final bout against the regime. And that said, film is the current path for Spider-Man to be able to appear alongside these heroes. This is apparently one of the plans they have in motion to try and get these heroes to appear together. Now, here's the thing. Normally, I would say, I don't know about this because, one, actually, not normally. I am going to say everything about this. One, I think there is a bit of a rights issue because Kingpin can't show up in the movies due to a rights issue. Vincent D'Onofrio has spoken about this many times before. So with that, I think I don't think that would make sense to have like this Devil's Reign storyline where Kingpin is the main villain when there's like a rights issue. Maybe they can get it done, but like first off, there's that. Then you have the rights with Spider-Man. The thing is with Tom Holland, I don't think Tom Holland has his contract for this many movies. So, I mean, it's entirely possible that he has another 5-movie deal because the other one was another 5-movie deal where it was Oh, where it was his trilogy, or was it 6 movies? I think Dan would know. Because he was in Civil War, his trilogy, Infinity War, and Endgame. So I think it was 6. And then you have his upcoming trilogy, and then the next 2 Avengers movies. So I don't know, maybe this could fit in, but I know that Tom Holland's under contract, and even though he loves the character, he's like, I'm kind of getting at that point in my life where he's either kind of moving on from blockbusters, and kind of not retiring just yet, but um, you know, what up? So there's that. There's also the rights issues with Spider-Man, in terms of appearing alongside these heroes. So there might be something like a rights issue with that. And why would Marvel go all in on a movie featuring characters that not a ton of people really know about? Like, people know Daredevil, like they remember the Ben Affleck movie. Like, if we're talking about general populace, they don't know a ton about they don't know a ton about these characters. Nobody in the general audience knows who fucking Jessica Jones is. They might know Kristen Ritter. Um, they don't fucking know who Luke Cage or Iron Fist or any of these guys are. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. That they would make a movie. Like, I could see like a presentation, like a special presentation, like, and we'll be talking about Punisher soon enough. But like a movie in theaters, I don't know about that. And I understand. I'm willing to bet here it's gonna go one of 2 ways. Either one, well, 3 ways. One, it doesn't fucking happen at all because this is bullshit. Number 2, it is a movie and it has Spider-Man in it. Maybe they can get, with contracts and rights, they'll maybe try to make it work. Or they're like, no, Tom Holland can't be in it, Spider-Man can't be in it because of this, that, and the other thing, and then you'll make it a special presentation with just the Defenders and Punisher. Those are the 3 possibilities. But even then, I don't believe that this is true. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make logical sense that they would get like a feature film with a bunch of TV characters that not a lot of people know, especially now that they're kind of going all in on like safer stuff where it's like, oh, we're doing Avengers movies again. We're bringing back RDJ. We're bringing back all these characters. So I have a strong feeling that, like, yeah, I don't think that this would make sense. Also, hello, movie spud. Yeah, a lot of people say Shadowland is not very good, but like it seems like they're going that way. I did have a theory like maybe a week or 2 ago on how I think they're gonna do that. I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was essentially like there's the whole thing with the hand might be coming back. So they might have it like be eventually, because I think there was the rumor that the hand was going to show up in Daredevil Born Again, and my thinking was that like Daredevil, like the entirety of season 2, they bring back Jessica Jones, they might be bringing back Luke Cage, they go up against the vigilante task force, and then they lose. And so it's like a Dark Night of the Soul kind of thing where it's like darkest before the dawn type shit. And then like Matt is desperate and he'll go to the hand and be like, hey, I need your help. And we have a common enemy. And they're like, okay. And then eventually, like, due to this, that, and the other thing, Daredevil takes over, and then you have the Shadowland arc, which I could see happening. But like, hey, remember, they made One More Day seem good. So, like, No Way Home, oh my god, it was actually halfway decent. Like, crazy. You kind of make One More Day kind of okay. Like, One More Day, the actual comic, is the worst tragedy to Spider-Man since ever. So, there's, Tell That to Kingpin Snap Neck. Maybe they can make Paul good. Nobody can make Paul good. But yeah, I don't think this is, but going back to the main story, I don't think this is true. It would be awesome to see these guys on the big screen, outside of, a Matt Murdock cameo in No Way Home, but I don't see this happening at all. Like, this is like less than 10% actually happening, so let's try to move on from this. But Avengers Doomsday rumor reveals the name of Steve Rogers' child, and it's a possible spoiler. So fucking spoiler alert. So My Time to Shine, who is not very good, grain of salt, has revealed that Steve's son will be called James Rogers, seemingly named after James Buchanan Bucky Barnes. Yeah. You may think this is just a name, but James Rogers was first introduced in the 2008 animated movie Next Avengers Heroes of Tomorrow. That was executive produced by Kevin Feige during Marvel Studios' earliest days and revolved around the children of the defeated Avengers as they battle Ultron, the artificial intelligence robot responsible for their parents' death. Because it was like a post-apocalypse thing, I think. In the cartoon, James Rogers was the son of Captain America and Black Widow. He had seemingly inherited his parents' superpowers and wields an energy shield in place of Steve's physical one. So, I know we've talked about how Heroes of Tomorrow might serve as like kind of some inspiration there because next, if you say so. I never watched it. But I think it seems like they are taking some beats from this because there is the idea of like, oh, you have the parental thing going on. So, because like, oh, you have his son, you have Thor's daughter, you have this, that, and the other thing. So you have all that. And with that, it seems like there is like some parental thing, much like with Heroes of Tomorrow. So it seems like that is the case. So, yeah, it wouldn't be. This is like a thing where it's like it's not totally insane. I don't think it's, they're setting this specific thing up, but I mean, it makes like sense. I mean, like it's Bucky is. I'm with you till the end. It's his best friend. Like, of course you name your son after him. I'd probably name my son after my best friend. So like, you know, it's just like kind of like a logical thing that it's like, oh yeah, he named his son James, like after his best friend. So yeah. You know, there's that. Also high, elite, easy E. So yeah, that makes sense. It's just like, will it happen? I don't know. Obviously, My Time to Shine has been very iffy in the past, not perfect, so I don't know. So it's entirely possible that, this is bullshit, but like, it makes logical sense. You know. So James Rogers might be, his son. Anyway, but next up with The Punisher. The Punisher special presentation's title harkens back to the Infinity Saga. So, apparently, Punisher, Welcome Back, Frank, which is the collection edition of the book that was where Punisher was written by, I think, Garth Ennis. And the official product listing has also revealed that special presentation's official title. John Bernthal returns as the Punisher in the upcoming Punisher one-shot special on Disney+. Frank Castle is a one-man army locked, loaded, and ready to take down anyone in his way. So the Punisher one-shot special it is, and you'll no doubt recall Marvel one-shots were originally released from 2011-2014 as special features bundled with Blu-ray and digital releases of MCU movies. So you have The Consultant, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to Thor's Hammer, Item 47, Agent Carter, which eventually led to the show, and All Hail the King. So they range from 3 to 15 minutes, but this is going to be a special, so it's probably going to be like a TV episode long, hence the special presentation thing. So, considering that John Bernthal is actually co-writing this, I'm excited for it. Like, we'll actually feature like a proper Punisher. Okay, let's not besmirch Garth Ennis here. Garth Ennis has written a lot of good stuff. It's just when it's not superhero related shit. So, yeah. So this is exciting. You you do have, the official title of the Punisher, which is just kind of the blandest title ever, but it's something, I guess. Then, next up, alternate Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer description leaks. Actor playing Boomerang possibly revealed. So with this, 3C Films has shared a breakdown of an alternate trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day, as we did go to the other one, which was never officially released online, but it was leaked online. The YouTube account says it comes from the same source that gave them a Scream 7 trailer description over a month before its online debut, so there may be something to this. For the most part, it's similar to the leaked teaser. This time, though, it opens with Spider-Man and the Punisher talking in the latter's battle van. The wall crawler webs up and takes Frank Castle's gun, making it clear that he doesn't approve of his fellow vigilantes' violent brand of justice. The Scorpion is also fully revealed in this sneak peek and is wearing a suit that's said to be a cross between the classic comics and what we saw in Insomniac Spider-Man video games. There's also a moment of levity with Spidey being pushed up against the window of a bus and dragged across it, creating a squeaky glass noise, because of course. However, the person who saw the footage shared their take that the web swing I saw is ugly. They also weren't sold on the comedy just yet. Destin Daniel Cretton has prioritized practical web swinging for Spider-Man Brand New Day, something the home trilogy director John Watts warned against due to how it ends up looking on camera. We'll have to wait and see if the Wonder Man Helmer has pulled it off. Peter Parker's meeting with Bruce Banner is still there, but they now discuss gene mutation. Later, Spider-Man emerges from a web cocoon in an hallway in an alleyway, and yes, he has organic web shooters now, hinting to the comic book thing where he gave birth to himself. But probably not that weird. Finally, Peter turns away when he sees MJ at a party about to kiss another guy, and they later bump into each other in a hallway. He says he's just a neighbor, prompting MJ to sarcastically respond, "Just your friendly neighbor." Cute. Finally, while the YouTube account stresses that this is just a rumor, it sounds like Tom Holland's brother, Harry, is playing Boomerang. He was cut from Spider-Man No Way Home after portraying a bicycle thief captured by the wall crawler. My Time to Shine, meanwhile, has said that Marvel considered having rapper Cardi B cameo as a villain in Spider-Man Brand New Day's montage. Yeah, we're not buying it either. So, yeah, it's definitely a mixed bag of stuff. Some stuff I like. Pretty much all the comedy is cringy Marvel comedy. Yeah, I am sure they won't actually do that in the movie, but they did do that in the book, where it was he gets where some I forget what it was, some woman implants something in his mouth, and then he gets impregnated, and then he mutates into a giant spider, and then he gives birth, and then he dies, and then he's born out of himself, and that's how he has organic web shooters, because comics, guys. Also, Dan is here. Hello, Dan.
Hello. Yeah, I heard impregnated and I had to hop on. Sorry. I will not take the Patriots slander, even though they got the defense manhandled Drake May and the Patriots. But I will say this: humble in victory, grace in defeat. So I'm wearing my Patriots pajamas today, just because it's still an achievement to get to the Super Bowl, and the Patriots did it 12 times. By the way, not all by Tom Brady. They did go to the Super Bowl before Tom Brady existed. But it goes to show you, the Seattle.
Now we're talking about Spider-Man. Nobody cares about football.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
All right, I'm just saying, because I heard the slander. I could hear you talking. I'm I don't know, what are you talking about? I didn't see the Giants anywhere near the Super Bowl. I don't know when they're going to be. But then again, look, both the Seattle Seahawks and the Patriots were nowhere close to being at the Super Bowl a year ago. So you never know. They do have.
Yeah, I just love how the dynasty is back. No, it isn't.
They have. Is it John or Jim? Who's the Harbaugh that Giants just got? Which of the Which of the Harbaughs the Giants just hired? They've got a good coach.
I don't know. I don't fucking pay attention.
They've got a young quarterback. Anyway, I'm trying to be gracious. But anyway, it was, and we'll talk about Bad Bunny later. But yeah, sorry, Spider-Man. And hello to everybody.
I don't think they're doing that. I think they're just probably the villain is probably gonna mutate him. He's just gonna be in a cocoon, and they're gonna, oh, I have organic webbing now. They're not gonna. It was very stupid because they're the fucking movies are doing organic webbing. No, we have to do organic webbing. Is he just going to mutate that? No, we have to do the most roundabout, stupid way of doing that.
You know what would be funny if, by the way, and I did want to say hello, right dude, just some geeky guy, Caleb. We got Ron in the chat. Hello, Ron. Did I miss anybody? We got Eric in the chat. Hello, Eric. I know you, John. You already said hello to everybody. Nelson is here. Hello,
Yes.
Nelson. Movie Spud. Johnny, figure drawing, and
Feel free.
if I
I'm
miss
gonna
your name,
eat my
Steven.
s'mores dip. So
Steven,
feel free.
Sour Tour. Hi, John. Oh, Sour Tour was saying hello to you earlier.
Yep.
I saw that.
At
Puppy
Chugo
Krypto, Decole, and then Monique was first in the chat, of course, as always. Okay, sorry, and you probably did that. I will not stop being gracious, Caleb. I'm a nice guy. I like to think I'm a nice guy. You know, not always, but anyway, nobody's perfect. But anyway,
when the time is right.
When the time is right. What were we talking about?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, right. I can't wait for the moment, because I'm pretty sure all the Spider-Men will be back in Secret Wars, where now Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire both have this stuff, and then all of a sudden, like, Andrew Garfield feels
like,
left
I
out
want
again.
organic weapon.
Yeah, I want to fight aliens. It's like, check that box off, because they'll be doing that a bunch in Secret Wars. But like, I want to have organic weapon that comes out of you. Like, how? Like, it's just like, dude. It's like, I just want that, like, that Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland exchange. That like look is like, They're like, yep. Like,
Yeah, like the black guy nod.
Yeah, it's just like, it's The Shining. They just have the Spidey shining.
You mean the Spidey sense?
Yes, well, or the spider tingle, as they've called it.
Yes,
in
the Toei Spider-Man needs to come in. You know what needs to happen? At the end of Secret Wars, they're about to lose again. Doctor Doom is about to like fucking win the day. Blah blah blah, and then the Toei Spider-Man just comes in with a Tommy gun and just shoots Doctor Doom, and then is like, see you later in Japanese, and then heads out. That is how I want
So
that
many
movie
people
to
will
end.
not get that reference, but I would love to see that. Even though that's totally not what Disney would want at all.
Oh no, not at all. But maybe second best thing, he could come with his gigantic like kaiju robot that he has in the series. Do that. That would be awesome.
All right. Damn.
Anyway, so
all right, let's keep
in terms
on.
of what they said here.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds similar. I mean, we have confirmation that some of this footage actually exists, like the stuff with Punisher.
We had the trailer leak.
So like half of the footage we've already seen, it's confirmed like there. So like I'm willing to believe this, but it's kind of a shame because apparently the web slinging sucks, and then you have more cringy comedy, which is.
So here's the thing. I think the web slinging was the best in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, because they completely, like, the VFX had caught up. Because, like, the thing is, the Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire, the web slinging was good for the time. Great, even. But it wasn't quite amazing, because the VFX hadn't quite caught up to, like,
he wasn't the Amazing Spider-Man just yet.
Well, I know. So, but, like, especially by the Amazing Spider-Man 2, you could tell, like, the physics, the cloth simulations, just the CGI doubles to the point now when most Tom Holland Spider-Man swinging scenes are completely CGI, and you wouldn't be able to tell, because the transitions between when it's a CG double and when it's Tom Holland in the suit are so incredibly, smooth. But not only that, most of the time you see him in the suit, even when they shot him in the suit, they replaced the suit with a digital suit that's tracked onto him, and you couldn't tell. Like, you couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, you can kind of tell.
No, dude, in most sequences you can't. It's the one with, like, the whole Iron Spider suit. That's a little harder to like pull off, because metal and lighting and all that stuff is much more difficult to still get right. But still, it's the suit. Like, when we're gonna see him in that black and red suit, or when we did see in the trilogy,
black and yellow.
That was. Most of the time, it wasn't the real suit. Like, even when they shot him in the real suit, they actually replaced it in post. So, but yeah, the swinging in Amazing Spider-Man was, I think, peak. And they do kind of hint at, like, that it looks rougher by comparison. I hope they don't do a lot of, yes, exactly, Caleb. That opening sequence, which
it's been a while since I've seen the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Before I remember, those web slinging scenes were good.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 has the best opening sequence to any Spider-Man movie, and I will stand by that forever and ever. It's peak Spider-Man, completely gets the character of Peter Parker, who Spider-Man is. It is the best swinging. He's doing it in Manhattan. Some of the sequences, I feel like what they did in the Spider-Verse movies, where like he's swinging and you catch him in slow mo and like doing one of those iconic poses in the middle of Manhattan between the skyscrapers. That's all stuff that it's like you could pull the inspiration from those Mark Webb movies to then go do what they did in Spider-Verse and animation. Um, but yeah, the point is this. I don't know if I'm gonna judge the swinging stuff before we have seen the movie. And then John, speaking of that trailer that leaked, it was a test trailer. Remember that's why it leaked. It would leak because somebody decided to like screw over their whole NDA process. Their name was like actually a watermark on it. So I'm sure they're never gonna get to access to that platform again whenever Sony decides to test another trailer. Right. But because it's a test trailer, that's probably gonna be still a work in progress. So I bet you there were probably things in there that were not finished shots, VFX shots, and then that trailer, the sequence and how everything plays out shot by shot was probably not finalized. So you've talked about it for the Doomsday stuff before the trailers dropped. I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if there were multiple versions of this trailer, and the final version, whether it's one of the two that we are talking about, or it's something completely different, or a variation of it, we just don't know yet. So, but like you said, a lot of the details line up because we already have that leaked footage, so we know it exists. And however you organize it,
because it's one guy saying that the web slinging sucks. Like he personally thinks the web slinging sucks. So it's like, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. It's also probably some of that stuff might not be completely done yet. They might replace the shot entirely. Like they might. Sometimes what they do is they'll shoot something practical, like they'll shoot Spider-Man swinging stuff practically. We saw some of the behind the scenes photos from the set in Glasgow last year, and they did some of that stuff for the previous trilogy as well, with Tom Holland. But then in post-production, John Watts was like, we replaced a lot of that stuff. So like, but it was good reference for the animators to see the physics of how things look when you are swinging, and they're able to kind of smooth things out, maybe use a little bit of artistic imagination to kind of extend that sense of reality a little bit, because nobody really knows how Spider-Man would truly swing, because they're otherwise we would have an actual Spider-Man swinging around in the real world. So you have but the animators get a much better sense of the physics and like how that would work, and just be able to animate from it. So anyway, I think ultimately this is believable. We'll just have to wait for the trailer. Whatever the next big Sony movie is, I keep forgetting. There's like I was gonna say Minions, but that's definitely not Sony. That's like Universal. But I'm sure they're gonna put it behind one of it, because they didn't do it at the Super Bowl. They didn't do it, in front of Avatar. They also have to kind of balance things out between not getting in the way of Doomsday marketing. So I'm sure Marvel and Sony are closely collaborating on that. So we'll see. Maybe the NBA All-Star game might be a good place to look for it next. But we'll see. Hello, Hunter Iggy. And with that, John, let's move on, because we got to talk about Avengers Doomsday. Specifically, there's two superheroes in Marvel lore that specifically use thunder as their power, primarily altering storms. Are you the god of hammers or the god of thunder?
Are you the god of hammers? He's like, oh. I love that sequence in Ragnarok, because it was like shit. Like, especially after that, you hit the music, and OP Thor is just wiping, dudes out and cleaning house. It's like, yes. That compared to Love and Thunder, where he's got like the Zeus's bolt, I'm like, just straight downhill on a graph, like between those two versions of Thor. But anyway, the point here is, John, they're promoting Crime 101, Chris Hemsworth and Halle Berry both in the movie, of course Mark Ruffalo as well. But there's a running joke that they're both trying to get each other in trouble over potentially revealing something about, maybe Storm being in or not being in either of the Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars movies. And in this clip I saw, this is from, I think, Cinema Blend were doing their interview, and basically Thor, like, I'm gonna use their character names, but Chris Hemsworth's Thor like invites Halle Berry's Storm, like, why don't you just come and join the movie, like, whether it's Doomsday or Secret Wars, like, I'm sending you an invite. And so, like, again, just putting each other on the spot, and Halle Berry doing her best to not take the bait. And then she kind of turns the gauntlet onto Thor himself, because I think she was on the Jimmy Fallon late night show, and she was being interviewed, and she's like, so if you go to the next reel, and Halle Berry was asked again that Chris Hemsworth had asked her or had sent the invite, and she was like, look, he can tell you why I'm not in Avengers Doomsday. And so she kind of threw it back at Chris Hemsworth, and then he's like, then he's on the show later, and he's like, oh shit, she did that. I'm like, and he's like, okay, well, I kind of know. And then he almost hints at the idea that she may not be in Doomsday, but she might be in Secret Wars. So ultimately, through this whole back and forth, and them trying not to run afoul of Kevin Feige's snipers, it looks like, John, while we may not be getting Storm in Avengers Doomsday, we might see Storm in Avengers Secret Wars. Do you believe any of it?
I'm willing. The way, I mean, to be fair, they're actors, so this could be total
Right.
bullshit and just like a farce, which is fine. But like, I'm
Academy
willing to
winning
believe it
for
because
Halle
they're kind
Berry.
of doing a lot of. Because I'm willing to fucking bet you that like while they were like right after this movie, right before whatever, like Kevin Feige's like, hey, you're doing this movie. You have 2 other Marvel co-stars with you, and we're doing this big movie where we're bringing back the X-Men. So it's just like, do this, that, and the other thing. So I'm sure he talked with one of them, both of them, maybe all 3 of them, especially Mark Ruffalo, since he, tends to spoil shit. But, it's definitely more believable than not, like than just Andrew Garfield saying I'm not in the fucking movie over and over and over again.
And then those photos leaked.
And then the photos leak, he's like, it's Photoshop. And
It was
it's like,
over.
Bro, come on.
Come on, man.
And then like they edited one of them out of the trailer where you can see like Lizard getting punched in the face, but
It's
there
like,
was
who's
nothing
punching
there.
Lizard in the
and it's like,
face?
bro, you're not. Well, you couldn't like crop it a little bit, like it was at the bottom. You couldn't have just like digital zoom in and like, come on.
I mean, if you can remove a character like the swinging Spider-Man, you should just remove the Lizard too. I don't know. It was anyway.
But I don't know. I just found this to be really, really funny. And then, so I'm willing to believe this a little bit more. Like, I think it's like, okay,
we know.
I could see that, like, maybe her and maybe not being in Doomsday, but like, oh, maybe she's in Secret Wars. Like, that's like okay, like that's cool. I can see that.
Yeah. What happens to, what was it? Frogs when they get hit by lightning or something? What was that?
Whatever happens to everything else.
Yeah. We need a callback to one of those like hokey moments from Fox. We need that.
I'll take the bad comedy from Fox than the bad comedy from the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, Eric, I agree with you. I think Halle Berry's Storm is going to show up in one of those Avengers movies. It's a matter of where it makes sense to include her with the X-Men, because everything we have heard so far about Doomsday, and from what we have seen in the teaser, the clues that they call, it doesn't seem like we're gonna be seeing those X-Men for too long, and they probably will kill off a version of, I guess, whatever that particular version of X-Men at some point, or I don't know if they're gonna last throughout the movie. So yeah, maybe because you gotta also wonder, are those 3, Professor X, Magneto, and Cyclops, are those 3 meant to be in the same timeline or same universe as the Beast that we got with Kelsey Grammer? And was it not Photon? What's the Monica Rambeau or Maria Rambeau version? What's that version of Captain Marvel? What is it called?
Photon, I think.
Photon. I think wasn't Photon Monica Rambeau's character? Anyway, the post-credit scene in the Marvels, like it's like they go to a version of the timeline where there is the X-Men as well, and you get Kelsey Grammer animated Beast. I don't know if all of those X-Men are in the same universe or if they've kind of split them up, because I guess you could have multiple variations. I don't know. The Fox timeline was convoluted anyway, so yeah, I would believe it if I mean, look, Halle Berry, she said initially that she wasn't doing it because they couldn't figure out a deal, money's not an object for Marvel. We know this. Like, I'm sure there's a number that Halle Berry had in mind, and I'm sure Kevin Feige and co can, come up with some kind of solution to that. And it's not like Halle Berry is just like winning Oscars after Oscars or blowing up the box office with her next 5 movies, or her last 5. So I can't imagine she's asking for a huge amount, and whatever the case is, I mean, and I'm sure there's time on her schedule that they can bring her in for probably a few days, maybe a week of shooting, if that. We'll probably get some more insight as this summer approaches, and then we'll see Avengers Secret Wars in production, and by that time, I imagine we'd have an even better idea of what Doomsday is all about. But yeah, all right, so moving on from Doomsday, John, I just want to continue to evangelize I think the best Marvel show in years, and maybe the best Marvel show ever made. And that, of course, is Wonder Man. Of course, I've now seen it all the way through. It's been about a week or so I've sat on it, and it just continues to get better for me. Like, it wasn't a recency bias issue. I thought it might be like I just finished watching it and it's just the high that I was on. But I gotta tell you, like, it's one of the best things Marvel has ever done. They put that whole spotlight logo in front of the episode, so it's Marvel Spotlight. So I thought it was better. Look, Ron, everybody, to each their own. But you look at these social reactions, like other people that were watching it, John. If you go back to the first slide for a moment, like, these reactions are pretty good. It's like Wonder Man is prestige television. I think so. Yeah, I know Halle Berry's a Razzie winner, Caleb. I know it's the highs and lows of being an actor. Speaking of, Trevor Slattery. By the way, MCU Doorman story. There's a bottle episode, and I was worried that the way they've done with the Star Wars shows, where the bottle episode feels like nothing connected to the actual rest of the show, like Boba Fett, for example. Here, the MCU Doorman story that they did, which is tied into the story of Wonder Man, was amazing. You got Josh Gad in there, some of the amazing stuff he does, and it was something where I wasn't expecting Doorman to be a genuinely interesting character, and they did that. So yeah, Josh Gad is still missing in the MCU because nobody knows like where I'm not gonna give you guys any more spoilers than that. Movie Spud, please go watch it if you haven't already. But John, yeah, there's these reactions from people on social media, and Marvel was posting about it on Instagram, rightfully so. Like that, there's a dream sequence, and there's just moments in the show where Marvel was clearly exercising restraint in a way that they haven't done in the past on Marvel Disney Plus shows. It goes to show you their approach to this stuff has changed. And it's not just, here's the biggest thing, John, if you hold on this for a second. Wonder Man as a show, Wonder Man the character, because we all know, like, Yahya Abdul-Mateen's character Simon, like, is super powered within the show, right? He's meant to sort of be hiding it because it's like, it's a faux pas now if you're going to work in Hollywood and the MCU, within the MCU, to be super powered. But I was worried for a long time that Marvel had one approach for like the street level heroes, aka the Defenders, like in New York, Hell's Kitchen, and all those guys, because that's their Netflix pedigree, and they were like doing that in a different way. But then they would do everything else, kind of more bombastically. And Wonder Man would be like kind of show you could do very bombastically, but they just didn't do that. Like they just showed restraint in a way that, like, this show Wonder Man felt more like something out of Phase 1 Marvel, where they showed us the superpowers and gave us the visuals when they needed to, but then everything else was character-based storytelling. And I'm not saying Marvel Phase 1 is the greatest thing of all time. There's definitely ups and downs. There's some of the best stuff from Marvel, from the MCU, still comes from that era, Phase 1, Phase 2. And Wonder Man aligns closer to those times than it does to like the pandemic era, like the early days of MCU on Disney Plus. So clearly they've learned a thing or two. Destin Daniel Cretton, I think, is a great choice, and he's in a streak now.
If only reality can replicate fiction.
But yeah, it's one of the best Marvel things that they've ever done, period. I agree with Eric here and their review. Speaking of reactions, though, John, some fans have loved this so much that they actually, made some fan art, and I wanted to share one that I found, which is really cool, and I think it's kind of symbolic. And I mean, Justin Giga, I'm glad that you were I'm sure pleasantly surprised by Wonder Man, because yeah, a big W for Wonder Man, and that's like the W from the Hollywood sign. So I love the symbology of this, like W
Oh,
for
there you
Wonder
go.
Man.
There you are.
Yeah, there we go. See, I got a comment in there. So yeah, loved Wonder Man. I love to evangelize it because it's a great show. Maybe not something that everybody's gonna react to the way I did, but I know a lot of people were like, "Holy cow!" Like they didn't have any expectations, especially because they were dropping all these episodes at once. But it turns out, in this case, it worked, and it just did a much better job. And I think Marvel has a busy calendar of programming, so if they're gonna do this like 3-episode premiere and then like 5 more weeks of episodes, maybe this was the better way to go about it. And now they can focus on marketing other projects and not feel like Wonder Man was gonna get overshadowed. Wonder Man's getting his moment, and I think people want to see more, which is always what you want to see. Yeah, Wonder Man puts the W in Hollywood, even though Steven Spielberg might own it. But anyway, let's keep going. I mean, that's the sign, that is the Hollywood sign. Like Alice Cooper, Steven Spielberg, and a bunch of other people actually own letters of the sign that there's a story behind that. You guys can look it up. But John, then this here, I don't know if you watched this, but like
I've watched some not all of these, but like stuff where it's like Yaya as Simon Williams doing.
Yes. Simon Williams, Trevor Slattery, like they're in character, like doing the Straw Hat Goofy interview, and it's just
Ben
amazing.
Kingsley in that fucking horrible ass wig.
But it works. I love it so much. This is the kind of viral marketing stuff which like DC has been doing under James Gunn from day one, but Marvel has kind of picked up from other movie studios, like what they did to the Smile movie, marketing it through ways that are actually cheaper, but you get more bang for your buck because you get that social media, attention and buzz, and that translates to good word of mouth, but you're not spending huge amounts of money buying ad spots and streaming services or on broadcast television or cable. Like you just put it out on there. You work with creators who already have an audience, and it just works better. So again, Marvel, doing things, I think, in a way that just feels like they're not brute forcing their way through everything anymore. They're being smarter about it, and that's good. Yes, Daredevil's Born Again season 2 comes out this year, Steven. It comes out, was it in March? I think it releases in March, so definitely not that far off. Which also makes sense because Wonder Man would have probably overlapped with Daredevil, so now they can kind of focus on marketing Daredevil more. So, but Wonder Man, again, having their moment. And there was one more thing I wanted to share from Wonder Man, John, before we move on. But yeah, just, Yahya Abdul-Mateen sharing these photos from his experience. And, this was kind of poignant for me because it's just, you relate to your show on an emotional level. And hello, Enterprising. Happy day to you. But yeah, these set of photos are from the set, from the production. And one of the other things while you scroll through this, John, I wanted to highlight. Not only is this show like very meta about the actor's journey and the struggle, but it's also shot entirely in LA, which is rare these days because there's fewer and fewer projects being shot in LA. And so, and Marvel themselves shoot a lot of their big movies now. Every movie is being shot in the UK because of the production tax credits being what they are. But they shot this whole thing in LA. Like they use forced perspective for the alien spaceship in the fictional Wonder Man movie, trailer that they do and all that. So it just goes to show you that dream, that Hollywood dream, is still alive for so many people who are living out in that LA area and struggling day to day to like get an audition and then to hope to get a call back. And like Simon Williams being played by Yahya is one of the most relatable characters that Marvel has, put on screen in the last 5 years easily. Like it's like I think he's right up there with Miss Marvel and like Kamala Khan. Like I can relate to the Kamala Khan experience personally because similar ethnic background and all that, but I can't speak any more highly. And then John, one of the biggest things about this show is Trevor Slattery finally doesn't feel like the punchline of a joke. Like they actually were like, we got one of the greatest actors of all time in Sir Ben Kingsley. We're gonna actually give him something worth his acting ability to throw out there, and then really put his just get himself submersed in the role and give us a performance that's worthy of his knighthood. And I just loved everything about Wonder Man. And then yeah, Eric, they actually did a very good job of showing Haitian heritage, for Simon Williams, and it it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel ham-fisted. Exactly, Eric. And it was just a part. Exactly. It wasn't. It wasn't there for vanity, or it wasn't there to like for diversity or DEI or whatever. It was. It felt like it was integrated into the movie in a way that felt natural. It was about his character. It was about how like there were flashbacks with his father. There were of course the present day sequences with his mom, and the way they kind of switch back between talking in Creole and English. It's like as somebody who who does for who English was not a first language. I mean, I can say I'm dual native now in a way because I speak English quite well, but I still talk to my parents, and then we'll just switch back and forth between Urdu and English, and it just happens naturally. And so while I can't understand Creole myself, I really loved seeing that part of the interactions as well, because again, all these characters, because it's also, John, one of those things where a lot of superheroes have broken families, and I'm not saying Simon Williams' family, is the perfect family, right? The way it's portrayed here. But everybody has, issues in their families, and like, whether it's a brother's not getting along, or maybe one of the parents has passed away and stuff like that, but there was this period of time where superheroes just were, Bruce Wayne's parents got shot in the alley, or Superman's, birth parents died on Krypton, and or one of the, or like Pa Kent passed away. It's like I really love that we're now, I think, getting into like a new era where, like, whether it's Kamala Khan or here Simon Williams, where you get to see that like these are normal people. Like I can imagine bumping into Simon Williams if I go to LA and like he's going to an audition, but he's also got superpowers, and he got Wonder Man. It's great. So,
and that's really the important part is family.
Your brother never told you never threaten a man's family?
Yeah, meaty role. That's what I was trying to say, Eric. Thank you. Ben Kingsley finally got a meaty role with Trevor Slattery, and he was able to do more justice to it and give it more nuance than most other actors who would be given, what he was given to work with. But yeah, it's great. Wonder Man, if you haven't seen it yet, I cannot recommend it enough. It is the best thing Marvel has done, movies or television or otherwise, in quite some time. Go watch it. It might even be their best Marvel television show. That includes for me Miss Marvel and WandaVision. So yeah, and it's not going to be a super flashy thing. It's kind of like if like some people didn't like Andor because it didn't have lightsabers and all that stuff. I was like, but then you missed the point of Andor, But like that's what I would say. Like if you loved Andor and you were like, that's the kind of Star Wars I'd also like to see, then this is the kind of MCU you should definitely go see. And it's on Disney Plus, so go watch it. But yeah, John, let's move on, because we got a couple of quick hits on MCU Weekly before we get to what might be my favorite part of the show today. How we were supposed to get, or we were never supposed to get it, but like there was speculation, or maybe we were at one point. I don't know. Maybe I'm not Kevin Feige whisperer, but Marvel was not going to be putting out a Doomsday trailer at the Super Bowl, but we didn't find out about that until like a week ago, right? So Boss Logic here, meanwhile, had been putting together this amazing poster for Doomsday with Doctor Doom as, I guess, the center, ready to hut the football, and you got a shield back there. I'm sure Captain America is not doing so hot. There's some other character with their arm behind the football. It looks like Hulk is lying in the rubble in front. That is an amazing poster. I'm like, if they wanted to, they should take this poster. I like how you can see like a little bit of webbing. Yes. Right here, like with Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man. That's a good touch. There's just so many subtle hints. Like I just pointed out like 3 or 4 different heroes. There might even be like Deadpool's sword back there, and then a couple other things. Like, yeah. So, by the way, the whole thing in Wonder Man, isn't that guy a terrorist? Yes. Yep. And there are just so many references. It's like you get to see normal people walking around in the MCU for once. And Wonder Man, which we just don't see a lot in those projects, in most movies and TV shows. Like we don't interact with most everyday people in the world of the MCU. And that's what Wonder Man does well. But yeah, this poster from Doomsday is again not official, but if they were gonna put out a poster or a trailer at the Super Bowl, then this should have been a poster to go along with it. However, John, we did get a little bit of a sneak peek at Doomsday. over the course of the weekend. Unfortunately, it wasn't a trailer, it wasn't a poster. It was just Robert Downey Jr. taking what looks like the Eagles green color jersey, except I mean, it's got
Well, I mean,
Super Bowl
Seahawks have
Doomsday
green,
on
don't
it.
they? So
Is it? Well, I don't think it's the same green, although they're both wearing two different greens. So maybe the retro Seahawks jersey colors kind of match the one Robert Downey Jr. is wearing. So I guess RDJ had these shirts made or jerseys made, Super Bowl Doomsday. So I don't know, John, does this imply that maybe there was a plan to do a Doomsday thing at one point and then they just decided not to? Maybe like they were like, these teasers did so well, we don't need to spend the money?
Nah, I think they're like, let's do something cute, and then that's it. Like,
yeah, just keep the
it was
social
just
media
like, hey, just have
conversation going.
RDJ in a shirt and just post it on Instagram. That's no money. Meanwhile, if we have like a 2-minute trailer, that's like fucking $20 million down the toilet. So,
And you know what? I noticed something that a lot of the trailers, much like we predicted, because of how expensive every 30-second ad spot was, like anywhere between 7 to 10 million a piece for 30 seconds of airtime. A lot of trailers, they're just like, instead of giving us the whole thing, they gave us 15. I think the shortest one was a 15-second, and then the longest one was like 30-second. And then they were like, full trailer online or final trailer online. You go watch it now. I think maybe the Mandalorian and Grogu might have been the only one, and then the Cliff Booth one, which was a surprise. They were the only ones that played fully, but then their actual like run times, like the full versions, were the same thing. So it wasn't like they were teasing a full trailer. But Disclosure Day, I think, had like a minute-long ad spot, so that was there. But hey, speaking of the Super Bowl trailers, guys, it's that time. I know John teased it earlier, but it's time. It's time to do another edition. I think it's been like a year probably since we last did one. But let's rank the Super Bowl trailers from this past weekend. But we do it with the Toretto Meter. Because, of course, everybody wants to know, what would Dom say?
I got family. You don't turn your back on family. Brother never told you never threaten a man's family? What's real?
It's the return of the Toretto Meter, everybody. It's been a while. I think the first time the Toretto Meter, when it debuted on the show was, I want to say like 2 some odd years ago. And, every once in a while we like to pull it out of the bag, the whole Toretto Meter, and not just the little clips. So here's how it's going to go. I mean, John, I know you're excited about this. We're going to be ranking
absolutely
today.
More family, more problems, but in the end, family.
In the end, exactly. In the end, that's what matters. What's real. But anyway, so we're gonna be ranking all the Super Bowl 60 movie trailers. There were a handful of them that dropped. Of course, we've talked about all the ones that didn't come out. I mean, we didn't get a Avengers Doomsday one, but we weren't expecting it. Not any Spider-Man Brand New Day trailers. We weren't expecting it. But we will count the Supergirl trailer, because even though it didn't drop quite at the Super Bowl, it dropped during the Puppy Bowl, but it all comes out at the same time.
Well, yeah,
and, since half the trailers that did drop during the Super Bowl
dropped at a bowl.
Right, but like half of those trailers that actually played during the Super Bowl weren't like the full versions. They were just like small ad spots to like promote the full trailer anyway. So I think
like they're called like big game trailers.
Big game ad, yeah. So with that, John, I think like I said, there's like 6 or 7 of them. And so the way we're gonna do this,
6, 7.
Sometimes there might be something to that idea. But the way we will rank these is we'll talk about each one. John and I will sort of give our ranking, like we'll just gonna give it a rating, and then we'll ask Dom like what would Dom say, and then we'll hear from Dom, and then we'll move on, and then so it's gonna be fun. How do you do, Jordan? Fellow kids? Hello, Jordan. How are you doing? So let's get into it, shall we? We got a list here from Entertainment Weekly. They put together all the trailers that released over the Super Bowl broadcast. So Scream 7. This was, I believe the whole thing was the whole thing. Like it was about a minute long, and you get to see some more footage. This wasn't the first thing we have seen from the movie. We had a teaser before this. John, yeah. I personally, the first time I watched it, I kind of half missed it because I wasn't sure what I was watching, but I'm not like the biggest Scream fan. But then I watched it back, afterward. It's more of what we got in the teaser in terms of the themes. I wasn't super impressed, but again, I'm not a big horror fan, so for me, if I were to rank it, I would probably give it like 2.5 out of 5 because it wasn't like I'm not any more excited about this
I
movie.
don't like it either.
know?
The problem
So
so I watched Scream years ago, and you want to know how I watched it? For all you TikTokers out there thinking that watching an entire movie in like 400 parts is new. It's not new because it was done on YouTube way back when you can get away with that shit where they have the movie in like 20 parts and it's like each part is
I
like 2
remember that.
minutes long.
Yep.
So that's how I watched the entire Scream trilogy, was on YouTube in like 40 parts. Each one
And
was
then
like 5 minutes long.
You can do it on Daily Motion, like
Yeah,
after
Daily
YouTube
Motion.
started
I mean,
banning
Daily
them.
Motion is
Yeah.
still, honestly, don't
They are.
knock on Daily Motion. They still got
No.
good shit on there.
They're still on,
If
yeah.
you don't have Disney Plus, you could watch the new Doctor Who season on there. But so it's so I watched them and I was
Thank you, Gil.
I don't know if I was young. I was like maybe like middle school, like high school maybe. And I watched. I was frankly kind of unimpressed with them. Like they were like they were fine. They were perfectly serviceable movies. And then I never watched Scream 4. Like you never got around to it. And then this fifth Scream was coming out. I didn't really have a ton of interest in it. I didn't really care because again, I didn't really care about the first 3. But we're like, we're doing a review of it. It's like, okay, I'll watch it. And so I watched Scream 5 and I thought it was complete ass to the point like I like as the days go by, I hate it more and more. Like I hate its existence. And so like I refused to watch Scream 6. And at least I will say with Scream 5 and Scream 6, there is an attempt at satire. Like it looks like it is like, the fifth one, it's satirizing like elevated horror as well as requels. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Mainly requels. Like that's the thing, because it's like where it's like, let's abandon the timeline and do a sequel to the first one. And so it's like, okay, that's fine.
Like the Halloween franchise kind of.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Halloween. I mean, Friday the 13th. I mean, pretty much almost all the big franchises have done
But John,
it.
it's like there was no sense of parody in this trailer. Like I don't know where the parody is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Scream 6 had like, okay, it's making fun of like New York-based movies and like franchises. It's like, okay. This one, it literally looks like, and even like diehard fans I've seen who have loved the past 2 movies in terms of the new Scream movies, they're like, this looks so generic. It looks so bad. It like
there's no identity.
It became the thing it swore to destroy. It was the whole basis of it is like it's not. It just looks like a regular horror movie, but it just has Ghostface in it and Sidney Prescott. Although now she's
there's no
Sidney
identity.
Evans.
It's not.
There's
unique.
nothing. It's just like it's making fun of AI. Maybe I will say I did not see Scream 6. I hated Scream 5 so much, I boycotted the franchise. I'm like, I'm never sitting through another one of these ever again. So I will admit, the one part of the trailer I liked was like the dead body hanging from the ceiling. I'm like, okay, that's a cool kill. Like, that's pretty cool. And it looked kind of freaky. So I'm like, okay, I'll give them that. But like outside of that, trailer was not very good. I just don't care. Like I see this trailer so much in the theater. And I just watch it and I'm like, this is not Scream. This is not the franchise that Craven and ironically Williamson truly created back in 1996. Like I had to think about it for a sec. But it's just not. It's not the movie that I feel like Williamson just either just did all the things that the fans claim they wanted, and so he's like, okay, we're bringing Sidney back, we're bringing Stu back, bringing all these people back in like certain roles.
I mean, hey, at least they're paying her what she's worth. Like Neve Campbell, what she
honestly,
wanted.
I agree. Candyman is so much better than Scream. It's like not even close. It's just not the, and it's just like it's honestly it's sad, but it's just like you're at the 7th movie at this point. Like, of course you're gonna run the shit into hell. Even fucking the Freddy movies stopped at 6.
Okay,
like I'll give them that. So.
But John, the trailer. What did you think?
The trailer itself is not a good trailer.
Angelica.
Like I liked that like one kill, but like it's half of it's footage we've seen already. The other half is like kind of spoiling shit. It's like okay, now we know Joel McHale dies. Cool, good to know. And so yeah, it's just like a basic bitch trailer. It's not interesting. It's not representative of the. It doesn't feel representative of the franchise. Doesn't feel representative of the film. Probably it's just like a generic horror movie trailer. And like knowing Scream, that makes it worse. But like even as its own trailer, even as its own thing, it's just not an interesting trailer. It's just not good.
I mean, what like if you were to rank it out of 5 stars, what would you say you'd give?
I'd probably give it like a 1.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'll give it a 1 for that one like cool like kill that's 100%.
I thought I was being harsh with the 2.5.
Die in this movie.
I thought I was gonna say 2. I thought I was being harsh with the 2.5. But yeah. Did John just say Freddy movie stopped at 6? Did you say that?
Freddy's dead. Technically, okay. All right.
We don't need to go down the
Canonical Freddy movies stopped at Freddy's Dead. The Final Nightmare, New Nightmare took place in the real world. Freddy vs. Jason is basically non-canonical, and then the remake is a remake. So in terms of canonical Freddy movies of the original timeline, it stopped at 6. Suck my dick. I've seen all 6. Fuck you. Okay?
We did a tier list around Halloween last year. You guys can go watch a tier list Tuesday episode. And John,
New Nightmare is an amazing movie, but in terms of canonical Freddy movies, 6. There were 6 of them.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? I think both of us thought this Scream 7 trailer was pretty rotten. Let's see what would Dom say about it, because we are talking about the Toretto meter here, of course. We got to ask Dom Toretto what he thought about it.
You don't turn your back on family.
I'm sure in this context, the family is like Scream turning its back on its identity of like what it was always meant to be. All right, let's move on to the next thing. From Scream 7, we go on to the next one. The Super Mario Galaxy movie. Now, John, this one is a little trickier because if you're just going to rank the trailer, it was like a 15-second ad spot, like 30-second ad spot. This might have even been the shortest one of the night because they had just dropped the teaser, like not the teaser, but they had just dropped the second trailer, the first like what they call the story trailer, because they'd put out a teaser like a month or so ago. But that was really a teaser. There wasn't really much there. You got like Jack Black in there, voicing, and then the logo and the title of the movie was revealed. But then we got a proper trailer last week, I want to say, and we talked about how great it was. You see Yoshi, and you see them like coming up against a dinosaur, and I'm like, you said that it was the best thing that to involve a dinosaur since the first Jurassic Park movie, which I was like, great. But I love that trailer. This is sort of like an ad spot that says go watch that trailer. So John, I guess if you're gonna rank it as a whole, whether it's just the big game ad spot or the whole thing that it leads to, the full 2-minute long roughly trailer online, what did you think about the Super Mario Galaxy movie?
Well, I just watched this little trailer. I thought it was cute. I liked it. I thought it was fun. Nothing to it. I mean, it seems like I don't think they're doing a prequel because it's just like, because obviously they're doing Super Mario World 2 references when it's like they're babies, but it's just like, but Yoshi is there and Toad is there. So either they go back in time or it's another world where they're babies or they got turned into babies. So it's just like, I'm curious how that turns out.
By the way, I did want to say, Angelica, good luck with Crime 101 and Wuthering Heights. Let us know what you think about those movies afterward.
I'm going to be seeing, I wanted to have a double feature on Friday of Cold Storage and Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, but Cold Storage isn't fucking playing at my theater. I'm pissed because it's like, I want more Joe Keery in my life. Fuck off. So, I'm gonna be seeing Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die on Friday. So,
all right. Well, to me, this ad spot was kind of just footage from the trailer, but it was some of the best moments. I loved it. I thought, because again, this trailer has really upped my excitement for the sequel, so I'm gonna give it a solid 4.5 out of 5.
I
John,
agree.
how would you rank it?
I agree.
All right. So then I think with that, let's ask what Dom would think. Let's ask Dom Toretto.
Brother never told you never threaten a man's family?
Of course, the Mario, they're family. They're family. But hey, as somebody who just lost a dog, I can definitely tell you, Zelda was family. And the next one we're going to talk about here, I thought was probably my favorite of the night in terms of just the cuteness factor. And this is the same night when we did get a Grogu related trailer as well, John. I know we're going to talk about this in much more detail later on DCU Daily, but Supergirl, they dropped it during the Puppy Bowl, but it was airing at the same time as the Super Bowl. It's like a 1 minute long trailer. It's a shorter trailer than what we got, a little while ago. So it's not really, I don't even know if you want to call it a full trailer, but it does give you a lot of new footage, primarily baby Krypto, or as they're calling it at DC, puppy Krypto. And we did get a look at a couple of the other characters on Krypton. We get a little bit more of what happened to maybe Argo City, and you get to see some of the same footage from Supergirl's main trailer. What did you think about it? Because for me, just Krypto alone, puppy Krypto, 4.5 out of 5. Because the only thing would have made it better if it was longer.
I thought it was a good trailer. It doesn't pique my interest further of the movie. It's just puppy is cute. Like as a trailer, the rest of the trailer, I'd probably give it a 3.5. But there's a dog, so it's a 5 out of 5 for me.
Yep. Caleb is like, there's a dog. It's just Guardians of the Galaxy again. Yeah. I'm sure there'll be people that'll be saying that, but it was a lot more than what we expected from the Puppy Bowl because we didn't get much last year. So, John, on that alone, I think I know what Dom is gonna say about this because, dogs are family, So Dom loves a dog. If somebody killed somebody's dog, Dom would go after them like John Wick would. So I can only imagine what he would say about
What's
that.
real is family.
Okay. Let's go on to the next one. Project Hail Mary. This here, John, they put up a 30-second ad spot that leads to a full-ass final trailer that is 2 minutes and some change. I know that you were sort of weary of spoilers, but I will just say, as somebody who hasn't read the book, but is starting to learn more and more about it, knowing that this is from Andy Weir, knowing that Drew Goddard wrote the script, knowing that the guys, why am I forgetting the names right now? The directors. They did the Spider-Verse movies. They did the Lego movie.
Lord and Miller.
Lord and Miller. They're the ones directing this. This is going to be probably... Hello, Jalen, by the way. Yes, it is all about family. That's why we're here right now. This could be Amazon MGM, the new Amazon MGM Studios coming out party. This could be their F1, even though it's coming out in March. This trailer just made this movie one of my most anticipated of the year. It is already Caleb's highest anticipated, but it's looks so good. It's got a Spielbergian sensibility.
It's not
to it.
even close to Sunshine at all. The sun is dying. They have to reignite the sun. We don't know what's happening till
Nope.
It's not even close to what Sunshine
not even close.
It's
so by the way, the science
different.
behind Sunshine is shoddy at best. Actually, completely.
This,
not.
Science behind this isn't exactly accurate either.
No, but again, they do a more of a they take some creative liberties, but they do a better job of getting you closer to that.
Well, of course, Project Hail Mary has better marketing. It seems right now because the movie's coming out in a month.
Right.
Which
I
remember,
this,
it was so
was
funny
very important.
And we're gonna get it into it later. My friend was freaking the fuck out because he's like, "Oh, fucking Hoppers had a trailer, but Toy Story 5 didn't." It's because fucking Hoppers is coming out in a month. Of course they're gonna have a trailer at the Super Bowl. Why would they have a trailer for something that's coming out in November? That fucking makes no sense. Like it's
And
November.
we were
right?
expecting a Toy Story trailer, we didn't get one, right? So that was something that I was like, huh? Where was that Toy Story trailer? We didn't get one. So, but Project Hail Mary for
no,
me.
it's coming out. I thought it was coming out in actually no, I think it got like delayed or something. It's coming out in May, I think. I think that's what it was.
Okay, by the way, figure drawing, Ryan Gosling is an Academy nominated actor, so I don't know what you're talking about. But
Yeah.
yeah, so he's
Fucking Sandra
pretty damn good.
Hüller is fucking
Yes.
Oscar nominated as well.
Yeah. She's the one who sends.
And it's got the
she's
guy
one,
from The Bear in it. And
Yeah.
it's got the chick who was in the AT&T commercial.
I mean, yeah, the thing,
Boom.
right? The thing.
Stats
yeah,
cast.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
She's stats for different reasons, but that's beside the point.
Okay, dude, we're gonna get like a whole trilogy of Lord of the Rings movies, Jalen. So don't you worry.
But the thing is,
Um,
Dan, I think
okay.
he's talking about good fantasy films. The Hunt for Gollum franchise is not going to be good.
Project Hail Mary
It
looks like
does.
one of the
It
most
does.
beautiful movies of the year. I love sci-fi, and this for me tickles all the right places. So I cannot wait to see this movie. And
Even though I haven't seen the
two-
trailer, I'd give it a 5 out of 5 because it's Project Hail Mary and I'm super stoked for it.
the 2 or 3 trailers they've put out for this, each of them have progressively given you more of what you can expect to see. One of our favorite characters of the year will be from this movie. I can guarantee you that. It's a little alien thing, and then this movie pulls you in on an emotional level the way the previous trailer didn't do, even though the previous trailer was still pretty gosh darn good, because the previous trailer was all about like the human perspective from Earth and gives you more of a look at Ryan Gosling's character. Here you get to see the relationship between him and the alien. And as again, somebody who hasn't read the book, I don't know how this thing plays out. These trailers, 5 out of 5, completely, and they give you that sense of like there's this found family. And with that, we're gonna ask what Dom Toretto thought about it. Let's see what Dom would say.
Brother never told you never threaten a man's family?
That's right. That's what those characters in the movie are saying to whatever force is causing their planets to die or their sons to die. They're like, brother never told you to mess with a man's family. You're messing with my family when you mess with our son. So we're gonna come after you. But anyway, Brazil. No, well, I don't know if Brazil's in the movie, but anyway. Let's move on.
Dog shit.
Yes. Okay. Before I've even talked about the Hoppers trailer, big game ad spot was like a 30-second little.
But it's most of it
bit.
was footage we'd already seen
And-
before, and it just doesn't
Yeah.
intrigue me at all.
I think Project Hail Mary comes out in March, right? To answer Angelica's
March
question.
20th, I want to say.
Yeah, so it's mid to late March.
Yeah,
Just-
March 20th.
There you go. So it's about a month and some change away. I will say this: Hoppers.
I
had
liked
no
it better
idea
when
what
it
this
was
thing
called Avatar, and I didn't even really like it that much then.
But dude, it's okay to me. I'm like, I'm in for the levity. I get what they're doing because this movie, I had no idea what they were doing with it. I'm like, we have seen plenty of talking animal movies over the years, some really great ones. What can you do different? Now, here's the thing: it's not. There is a novelty to the idea. It's not in and of itself groundbreaking, but there is the whole thing of it's like Avatar, but with like chipmunks, I guess, where they're putting like these animated these humans' minds within the chipmunks so they can explore the animal world, and then now they hear other animals talking and stuff. And like we've seen that like play out so many places. Like Dr. Dolittle is one, but like that's not even animated. There's so many animated movies like Over the Hedge, any animated movie with talking animals. So the premise is novel in some ways, but this is a teaser trailer, and I was like, you know what? As somebody who kind of came into this having not seen any of those previous Hopper teasers, like you saw, John, I thought this was fun. I'm gonna give it a solid 3.5 out of 5 because I would have liked to see a little bit more because it just gives you the premise. It doesn't really tell you a ton about the story, and it kind of pulls you in with the cute characters, and I'm okay with that. But I just hope there's more to this movie, more substance. Which Pixar has substance. They always do with their stories. Than like seeing animals texting emojis and that being fun. So I do hope that this is gonna maybe just kind of surprise us in the best way imaginable, because
Maybe I have no
that's what
interest. I
Pixar
give it
usually.
like a,
I
I
mean,
give it
it's
like a
just
2.
Pixar.
The animation
you know?
looks good and the voice acting looks okay. It just
We'll get to that.
it's not it's essentially you take Avatar,
Yeah,
Pompoko,
Jalen.
and Over the Hedge and you throw it in a blender and like maybe a dash of the Wild Robot and boom, there you go. But it's like, and then you chuck a pile of dog shit in there because it's just all of those movies but worse. And that's just like the vibe. It's just like this. I don't expect this from fucking Pixar. I
Well,
expect this from like fucking Illumination.
We'll
Like,
talk about that later.
and we'll talk about that soon. It's just like, it just goes to show, like, after John Lasseter left, like this company is more miss than hit at this point. It's just, sure, they come up with a couple of good movies like Soul and stuff like that, but for the most part, they have just been like really missing the mark. Sounds okay. I meant sounds okay. It just,
I
it just
understood
looks
what you
lame.
meant, Jalen.
It just looks lame. Like it's sad. It's
John, Pixar. I do agree with figure drawing. The Pixar has been hitting. It's just the perception around Pixar has not been quite what it used to be. I mean, Inside Out 2, I thought was
Inside Out 2 was great. Like, I'm not saying that they are not coming out with any
set the
hits,
record.
but like they have had movies that have bombed and not received good critical reception. Although there's some
Elio
like
was
Onward that came out during the pandemic, I can't blame that too hard. But like, who fucking remembers Onward? Yeah, exactly. Elio was like mid, from what people have said, and it's just like,
I think it's by Pixar's own high standards and lofty standards of greatness that they got us used to. It's like the MCU. They're not what they used to be, which is they would never miss. And now you can't guarantee that level of quality every time out. So
yeah.
That being said, Hoppers, it's not a sequel. If you're looking for an original Pixar story,
original,
like it's,
but like,
it's, you know what?
I guess
yeah,
it's whatever.
Well, we'll see when it comes out about how good it is or not. But yeah, Pixar movies these days could be more hit and miss than they used to be, which was they would almost never miss. So let's see what Dom Toretto would say, because there's a lot of, Animal Kingdom stuff in there, and, Animal Kingdom's family. There's similar concepts.
I don't have friends. I got family.
I think Dom likes it. Dom had, he's got family.
5 out of 5. Kino Cinema. Finally, some good fucking food.
Disclosure
Spielberg, Day. The GOAT. 10 out of 10. 5 out of 5. 100 out of 100. It's like we still don't know anything about the plot, yet I'm still intrigued. It revealed more footage, but it didn't reveal anything. It was a perfect trailer. Fuck yes, give me more. Disclosure Day, easily the best trailer out of all of these. Boom, there we go. Perfect.
I think yes. While my favorite trailer was the Project Hail Mary, and then my the cutest favorite was like Supergirl, I would say this was the best trailer. Like, it's literally Disclosure Day, like you said, John. This is like their second trailer that they've put out now, like second full trailer. Even though this was shorter than like the first full trailer. It goes to show you, Steven Spielberg knows how to tap into all of our like sensibilities about UFOs and alien culture and the conspiracy theories and, the idea of Disclosure Day, which was like this documentary that was done like not too long ago about like the Pentagon reveals all the footage of supposed UFOs that the Navy and the Air Force and the military has known about, that they've not quite figured out what those are in their footage. But this taps into all of that and then applies that icon. Like, Steven Spielberg can do any genre. He's proven that. He's definitely won Oscars for it. But there's something about a Steven Spielberg UFO alien related movie. Like, I don't know if there's a subgenre there, but like that's alien sci-fi. That alien, UFO sci-fi. It just feels good to see Steven Spielberg go back to his roots and know that he is still the GOAT. Like, it's like, see, sci-fi Spielberg, stop right there, I'm in. Like you said, John, 5 out of 5. The best part about it is it's still not giving away anything about the story other than the premise of it seems like there might be people who are actually aliens hiding among us, and maybe some animals are aware of it, and crop circles, and there's the idea this they're gonna reveal everything to the world. It's just Emily Blunt. Is it Josh O'Connor? Is it Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt in this?
I think so. Yeah, got Colin Firth in there as
and
well.
Coleman Domingo kind of like playing a similar like character, almost like with the suave, and then the screen presence that he has like in The Running Man. Like it's like just Coleman Domingo, just like he just let him play that guy, like this bombastic dude who's just a little over the top in everything that he does now. But everything about this movie makes you feel like, okay, if there was anybody else directing Disclosure Day that was not named Steven Spielberg, hell, they don't even put Steven Spielberg in the titles. It's Spielberg. How rare is it today that you see a director's name leading a movie title? Like, we got the Zack Snyder's Justice League, but that was very specific circumstances.
We got Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. But, like, you can count them on one hand. You don't even see Denis Villeneuve's Dune. Like, it's Dune. Like, it's... And they usually put out the whole name. They don't say it's not even
Nolan's
Spielberg's Disclosure. It's just Spielberg. Like, he's the head actor of the movie.
Like, you're selling, like, there's so few directors that you can sell the movie just based on the director alone. Like, I think right now you can count them on one hand. Like, if you tell me there's a Christopher Nolan movie coming out, I'll go see it. Denis Villeneuve movie coming out, I'll go see it. Spielberg, I'll go see it. Ryan Coogler, I'll go see it. Maybe that's it. I mean, James Cameron, I'll go see it because James Cameron never misses. Like, it's $1 billion every time. But yeah, getting back to what Spielberg does best, this could be his best effort in the sci-fi genre since Minority Report, since The War of the Worlds. It's been such a long time because he's done like everything but alien stuff.
Last time he did an alien movie was 21 years ago, so...
Yeah, it's been a long time, dude. I cannot wait for this. Everything you said, I'll co-sign on that. 5 out of 5. But John, you know what? This movie might be a lot about characters turning their backs on families because they were secretly aliens. So, what would Dom say? Let's hear what Dom Toretto would think about that.
You don't turn your back on family.
I'm sure he was commenting more on that aspect of the story.
Yeah, come on, don't say it's rotten. Like, this is like the one good trailer.
It's Dom Toretto has a very particular sensibility, right? It's like Mi Familia. That's what it's all about. But yeah, Steven Spielberg, man, never misses. Doesn't look like he's gonna miss here. Now we talk about The Mandalorian and Grogu, which, if you haven't seen it, or if you did see it, the best way I could describe it is it felt like they were doing a parody of like an old Budweiser commercial, and you start with the Tauntauns in the snow, and then I think it's what's his name,
Sam Elliott
from Landman. Sam Elliott is doing the narration,
which, like, Sam Elliott, I'll give it a point for that.
Yeah,
but, like, this looks.
I hope creativity.
I hope that this is not a shot from the movie. Because this looks like from the rough cut. The effects are so
unfinished,
fucking bad. Like, this looks like it was like drawn up in like a week and like shit out. And it's like, here, boom. Because if this is in the movie, we are fucking in trouble. Because it looks like a car commercial. It looks like dog shit.
It definitely, I would say,
bad.
Like the textures, the hair simulations, even the color grade to a certain degree, like the animation looked a little rough. Apparently, Variety asked the Lucasfilm marketing team, and they were like, "This is exactly what we wanted. This was the perfect thing for our movie right now." So I guess Lucasfilm was happy that what they were going for, they got. But remember the first trailer for this dropped like last year, and it didn't really get a ton of reactions, or certainly good ones. And so it underwhelmed. So I guess they've been trying to stir up the conversation any which way. I personally was pleasantly surprised by the parody because, like, every year you see there was a literal like eagle growing on the back of a young horse Budweiser trailer this year. So I like some callbacks to like the Clydesdales and all that stuff. And this was sort of a parody of that. And you would not think Star Wars would do anything like this in the past. So I will say that this was pleasantly surprising in that way. And like some of you guys are saying in the chat, like M2G and Figure Drawing, it's still a movie with Baby Yoda. It's still got, you know, Grogu with, but it's the whole father-son thing, and, you know, Mandalorian. You got, you know, come on, you got Papa, you know, Pedro Pascal, America's daddy, and it's still got the potential. I'm like, if this movie hits, it could make $1 billion. It's just a matter of what will it do, because yes, you are right, Figure Drawing. There's just a huge audience out there, fans of Star Wars, that are starving for the franchise to return to the big screen. So whether it's good or bad or mediocre, I think it just needs to be better than mediocre. Maybe even mediocre would be enough for it to like make plenty of money.
Oh, it's gonna.
But as a trailer itself, I appreciated the creativity, because this is not something I would expect from Star Wars, because there's almost this like unsaid sacred code about the mythology, and this to do something that feels like a parody.
Because you're not, because all the super nerds have been watching the Disney Plus shows, but nobody has seen a Star Wars film since Rise of Skywalker. So like, and that made $1 billion, and that movie sucked ass. So it's like, you know, people are gonna want to see Star Wars in a theater. They're gonna want to see that Star Wars theater experience again. Of course they are.
Yep. Ram Tauntaun edition.
Because it's like, oh, who cares? Who cares? It's like, what we are not talking about is the general fucking audience. Everyone is like, oh, all the super nerds are like, oh, I'm done with Star Wars, blah, blah, blah. And then there's the general audience. Everyone forget about the general audience. The people who are like, I'll go see a movie. Like, even in these trying times where theaters are kind of dying, you do have the people that recognize shit that are like, oh, Avatar. Oh, this. Oh, that. I'm going to go sit there like, oh, Star Wars? What's, man? I don't give a shit. It's a Star Wars. People recognize Star Wars. They're going to fucking go see Star Wars.
Hey, Bane.
They don't give a shit. They're like, Mandalorian, I don't know what the fuck that is. Star Wars. It's like, of course people are going to go see it. The general audience, they will eat anything up. They don't fucking care. They don't care about also like Kathleen Kennedy, the fucking politics, the wokeism, and the this and the that that everyone gets up in their grill about. The audience doesn't fucking care. People forget about that. They're like, oh, yeah, nobody's going to watch Star Wars anymore. This movie, I could guarantee you, is going to make fucking $500 million easily. Easily. I'm pretty sure it's going to make Superman money. I'm pretty sure it's going to make fucking First Steps money. Easily. It's Star Wars. Of fucking course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, Baby Yoda, people are aware of that in the, like,
it's more than
like, you're going to have the super nerds that still love Star Wars that are going to go see it. You're going to have the general populace like, oh, I recognize that. I'm going to go see it. They're like, oh,
of course, all the Pedro Pascal
I know who that is. I'll go see it. You know, it's like, it's...
and I think the movie will...
You do have the people that get up in their shit about it, like all the behind the scenes, but the general audience doesn't know the behind the scenes. They don't care about that. They'll just go see Star Wars. And plus, kids, it's made for fucking kids. Fucking parents will take their kids to see anything so they could shut them up for fucking 2 hours.
Dude, it's almost every $1 billion movie, minus maybe Top Gun Maverick, and maybe somewhat Barbie, because I think you can also say that's more of a kids movie. They've all been like animated or like kids 4-quadrant family films, right? So, parents taking their kids, or just like, you know, kids being out of school, going to the movie theater, being dropped off, go to see a movie stuff. It's and Baby Yoda is also huge still. Like, Grogu is huge, and then when it comes to who watched The Mandalorian, Disney Plus is like the 3rd highest like subscribed streaming service in the world outside of Amazon Prime and Netflix. There's a lot of Disney fans out there that know about this, that go to Disney parks, and you don't even have to be a Disney fan to know this character. I have a Baby Yoda in my closet, you know. It's in not my bedroom closet, not to be creepy. It's in my linens closet, you know, in the hallway. But anyway, like I usually would have it behind me, but I don't have a permanent setup right now. So people will go. And then look, here's the thing. I think this movie will deliver, not just because of, you know, the target demographic. This trailer, I love the creativity. Give it a 3.5 out of 5. Because I would have liked to see more of the story. I want to see a proper trailer at this point, but that's okay. There's time for that. It's Jon Favreau, John. And Jon Favreau movies don't really miss, even when you don't agree with the premise. Like the Jungle Book, the live action Jungle Book was amazing, and I don't know if has he done both of the Lion Kings. It's like I personally still love the animated Lion King, the original one, but it's mostly because like it's the animation is so much more expressive than what they were doing, like making these National Geographic documentary, like but they still made $1 billion. Like it was the highest grossing animated movie. Still is, or like no, I think now it's been overthrown by Inside Out 2, and then Zootopia 2 just overtook it too. So it's now like in the top 5 somewhere. But Jon Favreau doesn't really miss. So the guy gave us Iron Man, and he's done so much more. So yeah, it's gonna make money. But as a trailer itself, like 3.5 out of 5. John, what did you think about it? Like ratings wise, what did you give it?
1.5.
All right. Very low. Okay. Well, it's all about that father-son relationship. So, that's something that I'm sure Dom would agree with, because Dom is also a baby daddy now, so I'm sure he would think this was a good trailer. Let's see what Dom said.
Brother never told you never threaten a man's family.
Okay, so we got a couple more to go. Let's get through the rest here. John, we move on from the Mandalorian and the Grogu to the next one, Minions and Monsters. They put out a little teaser as a big game spot. It was like 15 seconds or 30 seconds at most, and you just hear a monster scream. You see the minion coming and warn you about a monster. Then it goes, it pitches you to go see the full trailer online. I watched the full trailer. And this was, it's right there. It's like 2+ minutes. It's like a proper trailer. They didn't hold back on this. I think this is the first one I've seen from this movie. And dude, this is a multi-billion-dollar franchise. Like I'm just gonna look this up real quick. But the Minions franchise, because technically the Minions now are like their own little franchise within the Despicable Me franchise. But if you count them all together, this franchise has made over $5.6 billion worldwide from a total of 1, 2, 3. I think there's like 8 movies or something like that so far. I'm not even counting actually all the box office, but it's insane. Like whether it's the Despicable Me movies or the Minions movies, they've made 7 of them, 6 of them so far. This will be the 7th one. This becomes, I think, the 3rd Minions movie. And they're averaging almost $1 billion per movie. Like one of you guys said in the well, not that comment. But the full trailer was amazing. I loved it. It was funny. The moments, I loved the cheesy humor. It's all the Minions stuff. The first Minions movie was a little disappointing for me. The second one was great. But here's the thing, guys. Figure Drawing and I are vibing here because this, and even Caleb, this movie will make billions. I think this is almost a guarantee to be one of the $1 billion movies this year, because even the mediocre ones do great. And yeah, come on. John, what did you think about it? I saw the full trailer. I'm gonna give this full trailer a 4 out of 5 because it's so fun. It's just a little over the top, even for Minions, and I'm a little concerned because one of the previous Minion movies was really mediocre. The other one was great. So I'm a little cautiously optimistic, but like 4 out of 5, I feel like still a pretty good number for me. What did you think?
1. Fuck the Minions.
The kids love it, and old people like Minions. My mom loves the Minions movies. And yes, a lot of it is because it's the physical comedy, and that's, I mean, you could say they're almost like Mr. Bean-like. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, kids and old people, yeah, lots of those to go see the movie. John's gonna like step out of this for a second because he's not interested in this. But hey, you know what? The Minions feel like one big family. So yeah, not just friends, but family. So I wonder what Dom would say.
I don't have friends. I got family.
All right, now we get on to, I believe, what is going to be our last trailer on the Toretto Meter today, the last Super Bowl trailer. And this was a surprise one because they gave us like a surprise look at the adventurous, or The Adventurous. I guess you could say Adventurous, but The Adventures of Cliff Booth, which is, Facebook moms will carry the Minions movie, as well as all the kids and everybody else that goes to see it that are not probably, young guys. But a lot of young guys, do you remember one of the Minions movies, like, that was the last one, everybody, like, just showing up with, like, in suits? Anyway, we already talked about they will do just fine. But John, The Adventures of Cliff Booth. This is a Netflix thing. I don't even know if it's going to be theatrically released. Is this a David Fincher movie? Because this is a sequel to the Tarantino film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Is it Fincher? Who's directing this? I forget. Like,
David Fincher's directing and Tarantino is writing. Weird combination, but honestly,
yeah, agree. Figure. It's weird.
I didn't see the trailer, but I'm excited for the movie.
But this was something that Netflix kind of gave us, like, out of nowhere, because we weren't expecting it. Certainly not this early, because I didn't think it's been very long since they wrapped production on this. But when Brad Pitt showed up, I was like, wait, is this one of those, like, parodies that ends up pitching a product to you at the end trailers? Because there was definitely, like, Xfinity did that, AI de-aging thing with all the Jurassic Park cast and to advertise their services and blah blah blah. Some of that was really dodgy, so I was like, wait a second, is this one of those things? Or, like, remember that Goodwill Hunting Dunkin' Donuts commercial? That was good what they did with that. Like, Jason Alexander looks younger, you got younger looking Jennifer Aniston, anyway, Tom Brady and Ben Affleck. But here, The Adventures of Cliff Booth, it was like a 30-second thing, so it was like a 30-second ad spot, and it gives you it's like a nice little teaser to the movie. And they haven't put it out online yet, so you can, if you don't have the game recorded, maybe, you can find a bootleg version online. It wasn't super impressive, but, like, it's a teaser trailer, so it gives you an idea what you're going to see, and it kind of continues the story. Pretty much seems like, the characters look the same, talk the same, walk the same, and it's Brad Pitt, and if anything, we got a ton of memes out of the first movie, and the fact that Tarantino wrote it, look, David Fincher, whether it's a good mix or not, right, directing a Tarantino script, I certainly, it's turned up my curiosity for this, and we'll see. It was good to see Elizabeth Debicki, she should definitely be a option for Wonder Woman. She's got the physique for it. Sidebar to Figure Drawings comment, but John, I thought this was a good 3.5 out of 5 for me, because I'm not, like, edging to see the movie.
I'm watching it now because somebody uploaded it, I think. So,
but, like,
it looks good to me. Like, it looks like it does have, like, honestly, it feels like, I know this is gonna sound stupid because it's obvious, but, like, it feels like the perfect matrimony of a Tarantino movie and a Fincher movie. It feels like a Fincher movie, but it feels like a Tarantino movie. Honestly, this is goated. I really like what I'm looking at here. I'm gonna go with 4.5 out of 10, or 4.5 out of 5. This looks good. I like this.
All right. Okay. Awesome. Well, hey, I probably need a full trailer for that, but hey. Let's see what Dom would say about it, because this is, of course, the Toretto Meter, and I'm sure Dom watched it and thought it was interesting.
What's real is family.
And there you have it. What would Dom say? The Toretto Meter, Super Bowl trailers ranked, Super Bowl 60 trailers. Not like to the Super Bowl, but like the movie trailers that dropped during Super Bowl 60. Whether it's, of course, the David Fincher directed The Adventures of Cliff Booth, Project Hail Mary that comes out soon, Hoppers comes out soon, or Supergirl giving us an actual, minute-long teaser with Puppy Krypto, Minions and Monsters, a lot of good family movies. And of course, that's what Dom loves. So let us know what you thought about all of those trailers, and let us know if you agree with the Dom Toretto ratings, because, we always like to know what he would say. That being said, of course, get in the comments, hit the like button, do all the good stuff, and we'll probably bring the Toretto Meter back every once in a while, like we like to do that on the show. So with that in mind, we're going to move on to the next thing, which, of course, now we got to get to the quick hits. It's that time of the show, John. So turn it on the music. Let's roll. Walk us through the quick hits.
Yesterday was John Williams' birthday. Happy birthday, John Williams. Turning
Happy birthday.
94.
94.
Still
94.
kicking. Still, I mean, speaking Disclosure Day, he is working on that
Yes,
with
he is.
Spielberg. So the reuniting of John Williams and Steven Spielberg. Can't wait to see it. Good to see that he's still kicking. Good to see that he's like, fuck you, retirement. Eat a dick. So
Well, I mean, he's still like partly retired, but like I guess he's like, you know, for what
he's like, all
something that he
right,
thinks
I'll
really
come back
worth
for
it.
Star Wars
Yeah.
and Indiana Jones and Spielberg.
And
Like,
Spielberg.
So,
Happy birthday to John Williams, the greatest composer
Yes.
to ever live.
well, all right, like Mozart still fucking exists. God
I mean, we're talking about movie composers, but
Anyway,
okay.
but Bad Bunny rocked the Super Bowl. 135 million people fucking watched
Dude,
this, and
did you hear, like, they were-
I've caught the memes.
So-
I've caught bits and pieces.
So this is great, by the way. Like, there's some details about this that I didn't know. I found out today. Like, there were people dressed as grass because they had like a limit on the number of like golf carts they could like get onto the field and stuff. So, like, to extend the scale of the set, they literally had some like background performers that were just grass. Like, that's what they were dressed as. And then that couple that actually does a kiss and they actually got married. They invited Bad Bunny to their wedding, and he was in like, you come and be at my halftime performance, and you can do your thing while I'm performing. And so that was amazing. Also the messaging around the performance, Lady Gaga showing up, I was like, oh, this is amazing. And while I'm not somebody who listens to all of Bad Bunny's music, it's even when you don't recognize the song, the beats, the music, the rhythm, it was perfect. I think it was the perfect halftime show for the moment that we were in. And yeah, it was great. And it's particularly at the time when the game itself had been pretty listless in the first half. There were no touchdowns until the second half of the game, so people were like, we want some excitement. Like,
no.
and
The first touchdown was at the halftime show.
Yeah,
There we
yes,
go.
it was. There you go. Yep, definitely more of a Bad Bunny fan, and I've heard from so many people, you know, from who are immigrants or like, you know, Latin American, like not just like our age, but like parents and aunts and uncles who were like, I wasn't a Bad Bunny fan before, but now I'm a Bad Bunny fan because
It's
of,
like,
you know, this
or it's like
performance.
you just have all the white people who don't understand Spanish who are like, I like the vibes.
I mean, you know, let's not paint it with a broad stroke. Like, it's there are people like, there's a lot of us out there who do know Spanish who I'm not us, like, but you know, I don't know Spanish very well personally, but anyway.
Biblioteca.
Was the Mandalorian in there dancing? There was a little Grammy moment. I like he references back to like Bad Bunny to his dreams of doing, you know, well as a performer, and of course he won a bunch of Grammys. He has been for a while. Yeah, iconic.
But Elmo
And
also proves, because my boy Elmo is a G, so you know, he is like, I don't think he should be called Bad Bunny. I think he should be called Good Bunny. Elmo loves you, Mr. Good Bunny. Which, like, considering that, like, there was a lot of sexual things, I don't know if, like, Elmo should be watching that at his age, but, like, you know, we'll just ignore that for now. But but this person is letting us know that there is a Good Bunny Foundation that Bad Bunny has. So,
yeah, he helps kids, especially Puerto Rican children in his homeland, by fostering development in arts and sports.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then you had a bunch of Super Bowl commercials.
I don't know, John. Is there a standout
I'm
for you?
aware of the Keegan-Michael Key and
Pepsi,
Danny McBride one.
The halfway there ones, the Bon Jovi stuff, which
and then you had like
was
the
great.
Pepsi, like the Pepsi stealing the Coke bear, and they reference fucking the Coldplay concert, which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
And those are the only ones I really am aware of. And then, of course, like the trailers we talked about, but I'm not really aware of.
I love the Goodwill Hunt. Look up the Goodwill Hunting Dunkin' Donuts commercial. That was probably the best.
Oh yeah, I
AI
heard about
de-aging.
that one. I didn't watch it though, so.
But that was the best AI de-aging of the night, because they did so much of that shit with like actors looking younger, and most of the time it looked terrible. But that one actually looked good. I mean, I'm also like a Boston sports fan, so anyway, like, in bias. But the Coke and Pepsi stuff was fun. Always is. Love the rivalry stuff.
But the next thing we got is YouTube TV skinny bundle pricing and details revealed. Here's the sports
so
stuff
remember we
down
talked
there.
about like, so YouTube TV is now offering like basically like cable, like offering like if you want the sports package, and they hadn't announced the details of it until now. And I think if you go down a little bit, they have a few listings. It's all the usual suspects in there, including ESPN channels and whatnot. But then soon, starting this fall, with the new deal that YouTube TV got with ESPN after, you know, blacking them out and then, you know, going on strike and all that for a while with Disney, they're going to have the new ESPN Unlimited part of the package. So you're going to get, like, you know, all the other networks that play sports. Like, you're going to get SEC Network, ACC Network, Golf, other regional NBC Sports Net channels, USA Network that has the Premier League and other USA Sports right stuff. NBC Sports Network, CBS Sports Network has a lot of soccer, like the Champions League. You got Serie A and stuff. Pickleball TV, didn't think that existed, but there you go. TUDN, the Spanish language sports. TNT True TV have a lot of sports as well. The NFL Network, of course. So, you know, ABC, CBS, you got a bunch of football. NBC now has NBA as well. PBS even has some sports. I mean, you know, I think Fox has some NASCAR. And yeah, ESPN Unlimited, that will give you pretty much everything else that the rest might be missing. So yeah, now you can actually just get that as its own package on YouTube TV, which feels a whole lot like cable, but I think that's the idea now. So hello, Pacer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cable but worse. But speaking of but worse, Film Academy will no longer show Oscar-nominated films to members on the big screen. The organization says its post-nomination screenings, which reportedly cost thousands of dollars a pop, drew an average of 5 members over the last years, leading to the decision to eliminate them. It's like 5.
There almost was like, shame on you guys, because only like 5 of you guys would show up to this. We're just gonna stop doing it, because I mean, I get it. Like, it's the Academy doesn't have a ton of money to waste, and so this would feel like a waste,
which is a shame. But it's like again, it's just the whole thing of like these fucking members. It's like, why even be a fucking part of this? Like, what's the point? Like, you literally get to watch movies like for free.
One of the things that did but John, this is kind of like an interesting reflection of the general sentiment around movie going, because this trend of people not really attending these screenings, especially post announcing the nominees for the Academy Awards that the members do get to vote on, so you imagine they would want to watch the movies. This has been trending downwards, the attendance at these screenings, since the Academy launched the Academy Screening Room, which is like their own streaming service that's for members only. So the only way you can really get access to it is if you got the login as a member. But there you can watch it. So essentially, it's kind of like, you know, they'd rather watch it on Netflix, in this case the Academy Screening Room, at home or wherever they are on their devices, than go to these actual theatrical screening. Which I'm like, we bemoan the fact that most people these days would rather wait till the movie hits streaming, and how the theatrical experience is unique, and watching a movie just feels different, it hits different when you watch it at home. But then, like, the Academy is meant to be championing that experience, and they're sort of have undercut their own whole ideology by doing this, and now their members are watching these movies on the streaming service that they have for them, rather than going to the members only screenings. It's sort of,
I'll go to the members only screenings.
Yeah,
I'll do it. I'll go see them.
That sucks, but it's also like, it's a weird like Black Mirror sort of situation. I mean, maybe not as dark, but like, I'm just like, if I was the Academy, I would delete this. I would not delete, but like, I understand the convenience of the service for some people, because there's a lot of people in the Academy, the members, who are really busy. They're doing a bunch of things, like they're working, like it's their job, and so they don't have time to go sit and. But like, if there's gotta be a better way, because, you know, it's, if you're gonna vote for a movie and you didn't see it in a theater, especially for like the technical categories, like how can you vote for a sound editing award if you didn't listen to the sound mix in the movie theater the way it was meant to be experienced? You just watched it on your phone, or your AirPods in, or whatever, or on your home TV with a sound bar or something. And I realize some people in the Academy do have like really good home theater setups, and maybe even a private little cinema on their big, you know, home or whatever, but the vast majority of the people, I bet, don't. So it's a little ironic, you know, but it is what it is. So
yep,
the Academy tried, you know, for their part, but I guess,
yeah. Ludwig Göransson and EJAE, lead Society of Composers and Lyricists, award winners. So congrats to them.
Yep. So a bunch of guilds are giving out awards now. February, usually all the guild awards happen. We'll talk about the DGA in a bit. So yeah, not surprised, Ludwig Göransson winning for Sinners. I think the trend will continue. It's likely to continue.
Yeah. Next up, we got Sinners, Zootopia 2, Wicked for Good win top honors at Advanced Imaging Society Lumiere Awards.
Lumiere Awards. This is not the French Lumiere Awards. There's like two. It's weird, but like they're both called the Lumiere Awards. And so this is more about like the technical category, like advanced imaging, so like, you know, technology that goes into the movie making business. And Sinners won for like best live action feature, Zootopia won for best animated movie, Wicked for Good won for best movie musical category, live action musical, a very specific category for 2026. You know, like these days musicals aren't really as much of a thing anymore. But yeah, you know, you got special honors for Ethan Hawke, John M. Chu and Joseph Kosinski and Jerry Bruckheimer at the ceremony. So yeah, good to see. Again, Sinners is a theme. More of that to come. But yeah.
Next up, Sir President Christopher Nolan kicks off DGA Awards with his first presidential speech.
State of the Union.
Our members are having very hard times. Sir President Christopher Nolan, Honka Caleb's favorite director of all time. You know, giving his incumbent president. If he was the real president, I'd vote for him. I know he's British. I don't care. I'd vote for him.
Let's change the rules. Who cares about
the rules? Let's change the rules, all right?
Rules are meant to be broken, what they say. Anyway, but
I mean, the DJ Awards. Now we're begging for Brits to be the president. When you know,
who would have thought? The Brits were like, just give it 250 years, and they'll come begging back to us. Like they'll come crawling. Just give them 250 years, or actually less than that, because like
empires fall after 250 to 300 years, guys.
That's
just
true.
Saying.
History may repeat itself. Anyway, but yeah, the DGA Awards. Christopher Nolan was just saying, look, it's a rough time for all of us, and he was just trying to acknowledge that, but at the same time, you know, looking forward to the award show. So, because this was early in the show, and then Kumail Nanjiani hosted. I heard he did a great job. This is not televised, but John, let's go to the winners, because we gotta look at who won the big ones. I think Paul Thomas Anderson won for the big director award of the night.
Unfortunately, like but you know,
but he of course won for. One battle after another. The Pit won the big award on the TV side. The Studio also won, so they, you know, drama and then comedy. So, John, again, it seems like Sinners and One Battle After Another. You know, that's gonna be the.
I can't wait for Martin Scorsese's Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I still need to watch the show. I have my list. Dude, it's growing every day.
It's so good. It's the first episode. You'll get it like right away. But
I feel like I'm saving movies. Hey, shut the fuck up. Or whatever the hell the scene went, or whatever it was. But yeah. Seth Rogen giving a good performance. And then shrooms. I know all the memes and shit, but you know, just Dave Franco being Dave Franco.
It's so amazing. Oh my god. And then like Zoe Kravitz one, it's like, oh, it's like, oh, and then the one with Olivia Wilde, also great episode. And then Zac Efron, I think, is in the same one. But anyway, this was usually at the DGA Awards, you get a good sense of how the director's category is going to go at the Oscars. And given that PTA won here over Ryan Coogler and the others that were nominated, do you think that's going to have an impact now, like in terms of momentum at least, and with the Oscars, who wins Best Director? Or because again, the DGA is mostly American directors, so we have a more international representation in the Academy. Do you think maybe that changes the calculus? I don't know. What do you think?
Obviously, I feel like with Oscars, I'm just terrible at like that whole idea of like I think I'm on it and then I'm not. So I don't know. I don't want to say anything because it's just like I don't know. Like I feel like I always make myself look like an idiot when in regards to that. So like I don't know.
We'll wait to ask Liz when she's back on the show.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she's better at it than I am. But it's just like it's so funny. It's just like I think I have and I do think I have a handle on a couple things. But in terms of all, I don't know. I don't want to say anything. Just
right.
maybe
Well,
like in a week or so. Maybe I don't know.
We'll
Like,
see. I mean, there's the PGA awards to come, the Actors Awards. We'll get a much better idea.
The BAFTAs haven't happened yet, right?
Nope, but they will be happening soon. Yeah, that's another one.
The
That's a big
20th,
one
I think, like
nowadays.
10 days
because,
from now.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like, it seems like one battle after another is kind of going down that line, but I don't know. Like, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, let's keep on rolling here.
Next up, SAG-AFTRA and studios kick off 2026 contract talks.
Yep.
Nolan's DGA links arms with Armors Guild over pursuit of sustainable careers.
So this is actually interesting. I'm just gonna try to TLDR it for you, but remember there was a whole strike a few years. Everybody knows about the Hollywood strikes, the labor strikes, right? The actors and the writers went on strike, and then movies got pushed back and all that. Eventually, they came to a deal. They made a 3-year deal. Right now, the biggest thing that they're gonna probably be negotiating over is adding to the pension plans for all the big unions, because those have been running in a deficit because this cost of living has gone up and inflation and all, and the pension plans haven't been able to keep up, so they're in the negative. So that being said, the president of SAG-AFTRA, who are now negotiating with the studios, the AMPTP is the studios side of things here. Am I forgetting his name? Sean, let me see.
Astin?
Sean Astin. Yeah, yes. He was saying they're not gonna lean on one particular issue like the pension plans. They're gonna try to negotiate on all fronts, so that basically they don't want to cede the high ground to the AMPTP, even though it's kind of there. It's pretty obvious where the unions are hurting the most.
I have the high ground.
That being said, in the headline, it's saying Christopher Nolan, the Sir President Christopher Nolan of DGA, he put out a statement saying that we are brothers in arms in a matter of sense. We are behind you, we support you. But there's also a little bit of a timing thing to this. And right now they're just both submitting their initial proposals. Then they'll do counter proposals, and then figure out who's where and how far apart they are on things. The contract for the actors expires on June 30th. But then there is a bit of a time deadline on this, because on March 6th, the WGA, the East and the West, both start to negotiate. The writers do, who also went on strike a few years ago. And then the Directors Guild will negotiate in May. Now, sometimes before the negotiations start, they've already been working on things behind the scenes. The directors got their stuff done and out of the way, didn't go on strike a few years ago. But, Christopher Nolan here, Sir President Christopher Nolan, saying the directors will stand by the WGA and the actors unions, the SAG-AFTRA, so that they're all together on this. But if the AMPTP, the studios, can't land a deal with the SAG-AFTRA folks by March 6th, they'll just start negotiating with the writers, and then the actors kind of union has to get the back of the line, because then the director's turn comes in May, and if things don't work out well like they didn't do last time, June 30th the contract expires, and then things could, but hopefully that won't happen again, because we don't want movies to be delayed. We don't want people to be out of a job, or sitting on the sidelines because of a union strike. I don't think Hollywood can afford that, and the studios know this. So right now they're, of course, are all signing on to confidentiality agreements, and they're not going to talk about it in the public. Usually when we start to hear about things in the public sphere is when things are going wrong. And that's what happened a few years ago. So hopefully the next time we hear about this is when the deal is being signed. But the process is starting now. The Directors Guild and most of the other guilds have said they're not going to take a 5-year deal, because the studios were like, we'll give you them, what you want on the pension stuff, but then maybe give us 5 years. So there's a little more time for us to then come back to the table again. We want more stability. The guilds are not so sure about that, because things can change really quickly in Hollywood. So the 3-year period seems to be better, because every 3 years you can kind of renegotiate on things, see where AI is at, which is going to be another big one. So there you go. But the process is beginning, and hopefully the actors and the studios can figure stuff out this time without going on strike. And the writers will be doing the same starting March 6th. So yeah, talent unite, get her done, SAG. Absolutely. Cool. Let's keep on rolling.
Netflix exec predicts $6 billion in job cuts if Paramount buys Warner Brothers Discovery, and quite frankly, we think it's going to be even more than that. Cleet Williams says. So what exactly does this mean? I'm kind of confused by the headline. So what's going on here?
I'll TLDR it here because, yeah, it is a little confusing. I have to kind of read through the article to figure out what they were talking about. So Cleet Williams he's like
the co-CEO with Ted Sarandos, right?
No. This guy's not he's the Chief Global Affairs Officer.
Okay, because I remember, isn't sorry to cut you off, but like, isn't Netflix owned by Ted Sarandos and somebody else? Isn't there a co-CEOs?
So, not owned, but there's Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters.
Okay.
I mean, Greg Peters and, Cleet Williams both look like generic white guy number 1 and 2. But anyway, Global Affairs Office, Chief Global Affairs Officer. He was saying that, I mean, this is no secret. Paramount had said in the offer that still stands, that they're looking at targeting $6 billion in cost efficiencies, which usually means like, things that overlap. They've talked about, Paramount has said that might include real estate assets for Warner Brothers, which would be probably the Warner Brothers lot, or maybe parts of the Paramount lot, because you don't need 2 huge studio lots. And Netflix was targeting around 2 to 3 billion. That's still true. Both companies have put those numbers out front. What he's saying here, Cleet Williams, is that while Netflix is going to achieve most of their savings, through things like cutting down on licensing costs and stuff, because he was saying we're going to achieve our savings and synergies, the corporate word for that, primarily from licensing fees and savings on things like that. So he's being a little vague, but he was saying like it's not going to be from job cuts, because most people that work, for Warner Brothers don't do the same stuff that people working for Netflix do. I get that on a certain level, but like I said, always is going to affect jobs across both companies in areas like IT, admin, payroll, HR, because every company has that, and you don't need 2 full departments of that across both companies. So even Netflix will cut some jobs, but he's saying here that they won't cut nearly as many jobs, whereas for Paramount, most of those $6 billion will be in job cuts. I mean, and then he was citing the fact that Paramount has laid off 3,500 people in recent years, which is a real number. I used to work for Paramount, so I can tell you that it wasn't fun seeing people get laid off. Sometimes you knew them closely, sometimes you just heard about it and you're like, oh, that's just terrible. So that being said, I get what he's saying, but again, there's sort of like, yeah, does Netflix fighting back? Sure. But it sounds believable? Sure. Is it going to matter in the end? Probably not, because it doesn't seem like Paramount is making any moves to truly outcompete Netflix. Netflix is going to continue on. They're currently trying to get regulatory approval. That process has begun to acquire Warner Brothers. And let's be honest, both companies will lay off people after the merger, regardless of whether it's Paramount or Netflix buying Warner Brothers. It's just, look at the numbers, 3 billion versus 6 billion. One of them will include more job cuts. It's obvious. And I would take it with a grain of salt about the licensing fees being the bigger thing for Netflix. I understand the licensing stuff because there's a bunch of Warner Brothers shows that they license to Netflix or they make for Netflix, which then is just money exchanging hands in-house after it's the same company. I can't imagine that's going to make up a significant chunk of $3 billion. But he was just saying Netflix deal is better because fewer jobs will be lost, which on the surface is true, most likely, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. There will be people losing their jobs either way. There'll just be fewer of them with Netflix taking over. But, I feel bad for the people that, and I'm sure some of those people are already like looking over their shoulders because when something like this is happening, word gets around. So anyway, let's keep on going. And it's never good when people lose their jobs like that in a situation like this.
But moving on to bigger and better things, heated rivalry audience doubles.
Bigger and better things, I see.
Heated rivalry audience doubles post finale to average 10.6 million US viewers. Warner Brothers Discovery said.
That's huge. Dude, that is huge. Like people, like that's. I mean, this show has been completely viral for the last couple of months, and I'm not surprised to see it doing as well. But that's still a big number. And I'm sure they're working on season 2 shortly. So yeah, heated rivalry, big and better things, Sean.
Yep. But next up, Michael Douglas admits he didn't know his Oscar-winning Wall Street role was offered to 2 other Hollywood stars before him. So,
did you know the 2 stars that got offered the role? Because
I did not. Apparently, they went to Warren Beatty and Richard Gere first. Honestly, Couldn't imagine them either in the role, so it's glad that they passed on it.
I'm glad they but it's that whole situation of like, Harrison Ford was not supposed to be Han Solo. Could have lived.
He was not supposed to be Indiana Jones either.
Yeah, but sometimes it just works out for the better.
I mean, Bryan Cranston wasn't the first choice for, well, at least in terms of the network, he was not the first choice for Walter White. So.
Yeah, true. All right.
But next up, God of War live action series cast Callum Vinson as Atreus.
Hey.
So,
dude, this was like the second most important, I would say, casting they needed to do. They got Kratos. Now they got Kratos' son, Atreus. What did you think about this? Callum Vinson going to be playing the son character in God of War.
I don't know who this kid. I don't know I've never played God of War Ragnarok, so I don't know. So.
Cool. All right, as Enterprising would say. Let's keep on rolling.
Next up, A24 lands erotic thriller spec by Dylan Brady. In Bidding War, Nicole Kidman talks to star. It's like, honey pie, you are in your fucking, 60s at this point, and you look like a 40-year-old lizard. Can we stop, at this point, just make,
Atreus. Okay, thank you.
It's just, why are we doing this? It's just I get Ana de Armas, Marco Qualley, or Jenna Ortega. I understand them in erotic thrillers, but why are we getting Nicole Kidman? She hasn't looked like she's not had plastic in her face since 2005. Can we move on to other people at this point? Bruh.
I love how you started by saying Baby Girl because that was the last movie that she was in that was an erotic thriller. So
I said Honey Pie, but sure.
Honey Pie? Okay, I heard Baby Girl, but there you go. Anyway, let's keep on rolling.
Yeah, it's just bro, maybe it's good. I don't know, but no.
I like
Colin
her.
Firth joins Jack Lowden, your boy, in Apple TV series based on Berlin noir books. Reunites with Peter Strawn. I'd watch it because I like Colin Firth. I don't fucking know anybody else. So
I've heard about this. I mean, again, James Bond in Waiting, guys. Go see him. And the Slow Horses and Berlin Noir also on the same streaming service, Apple TV. They're cooking with this. Colin Firth is also going to have a good year. I mean, he's good couple of years. He's going
to be in Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day. He's in this. Yeah.
Good stuff. Yep. Anyway, Eddie Murphy, Eva Longoria reteam for comedy Attachment Parenting for Amazon MGM.
I can see this being a straight to streaming movie. Yeah.
Yeah, another crap fest that Eddie Murphy's putting on. Remember when we all thought that Dolomite Is My Name was Eddie Murphy's resurgence as a great actor, and then he just completely shit the bed and is now going back to doing terrible comedies that nobody watches? Remember when Eddie Murphy was considered one of the best comedians of all time? Good times.
Nope.
Good times.
I forgot that, actually. It's been so long. Yeah. Maybe he's just waiting for that Shrek money because he's got a couple of donkey things coming up. So
anyway, Harry Potter series set to be the streaming event of the decade. Yeah, no shit, because the other Harry Potter thing was the fucking cultural event of the last decade. So of course the next thing is gonna be also in addition to that. Hello.
Yep. I hear you. I mean, they're saying the obvious thing, but I guess they gotta promote it somehow. So
indeed.
Yeah. They literally built whole sets. They built a bigger version of I forget, what is it? Is it Privet Lane or something? I forget.
Privet Drive.
Privet Drive. Where Harry Potter grows up, and it's bigger than the one that they built for the actual movie. So I'm and that's gonna stay on as a standing set for years. So can't wait. Yeah.
But next up, we got more of it. Apparently, Harry Potter series to reveal Draco Malfoy's home life. Actor says. A few bits of Harry Potter series news from the show, mining new creative territory to a bold prediction from Warner Bros.
That's
Discovery.
good.
So
I mean, they say
cool,
bullies,
I guess.
because bullies, if they're bullying you in school, they're probably going through it at home, and that was always hinted at, but we never quite got to see what the Malfoy's household was like. So maybe they'll make Draco Malfoy a little more relatable. You can kind of understand why he's
hashtag relatable. Yeah, just make every villain relatable because that's what we have to do nowadays. Sure, why not? Obviously.
Let's keep going.
But HBO Max touts last mover advantage content quality over volume in unveiling UK launch date.
Yeah, so HBO Max finally getting to, you know, the UK, and we'll see what happens after Netflix buys into that. But yeah, they're saying, look, hey, you know, come and check us out. Like, we're late to the party, but you're gonna get quality over quantity, and they'll still continue to work with Sky, which is where a lot of HBO shows land in the UK now. But I'm sure whenever that deal ends, then all that stuff will move to HBO Max exclusively. And of course, you know, they addressed the Netflix deal a little bit, but then they've also been touting the Harry Potter series as a Prime Video partnership. So I don't know how that exactly works, and maybe there's some kind of licensing thing there and behind the scenes that we didn't know about. It's not in the US, but like in the UK. So we'll see. Let's keep on going. Yeah, HBO Max. If you're in the UK, you're gonna be able to actually get it soon. So.
But Sinners exhibit features props, costumes, and set pieces. Is now part of Warner Brothers Studio Tour, which is cool because it was all ripped from, you know, Blade when that was going to be a movie, and now they're just saying, hey, this was Marvel's secondhand shit, and now we're using it for this.
But it's going to be Oscar-winning secondhand shit if it, and you know, like box office.
Imagine if it does. Shit. I don't even know if it's nominated for costume design, but it would be funny as fuck if it won costume design, because you could see Kevin Feige be that Homelander meme of him just watching. And just like the
I'm
fucking
gonna look this up. Hold on.
Depression coming across his face. If that is
okay, we're talking costume, right? Like I can look this up right now. Costume design. Sinners is nominated. Ruthie Carter. Yep.
So, if it win, I hope it wins purely just to be like, hey, Kevin Feige, if you fucking actually continue with that 1920s Blade movie. Maybe it could have gotten nominated for costume design. Probably not, because they hate Marvel. Yeah. So, you know.
Yep. Love it. Love to see it. Now, it makes me want to do that Warner Brothers Studio Tour even more. So.
But Gore Verbinski sounds off on AI as he launches Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Pirates of the Caribbean filmmaker is back after nearly a decade. He's now out of director's jail and is ready to skewer how technology has taken over our lives even more in that time. Why is AI helping me write a song or tell a story? I don't want it to breathe or fuck for me. I want it to solve cancer. Based.
I put it in there just for you, John, because I knew you would have fun with that.
But there was also a different story where apparently like the studio behind Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die are offering free tickets to people who have lost their jobs to AI. So I'm like,
that's goated.
That's just awesome right there.
Love it.
Love to see it.
Love it. He ain't pulling his punches. Yep.
But it's just so funny because it's like literally we're setting up the fucking future from Demolition Man. It's like, does anybody really want that? Where the only song you can listen to is the Oscar Mayer Wiener song? Like, come on.
No.
Nobody wants that.
It's a dark future.
But you know what we do want? We want more Dave Bautista. And Dave Bautista in good movies instead of like D-grade fucking direct-to-video schlock that he's been in. You know, Razzie nominated Dave Bautista over here. But he's going to be playing the Kurgan, the villain of the Highlander franchise, which was played by Clancy Brown in the 1984 movie. And here,
dude, we got some photos.
He's
look at this.
Definitely
stuff.
a different vibe, but it's looking.
I love the look.
Good,
I mean, Henry Cavill looks amazing. I like the beard thing. Oh, this looks badass. That looks nice.
You can tell like they spotted the guy taking pictures. They look like, really, motherfucker? You're really taking pictures? Are you fucking kidding me right now?
I hope this thing is gonna be a huge hit because they're putting in so much effort. Wasn't Highlander like over at Lionsgate and then Amazon came in because they were like, we're just gonna like Lionsgate wasn't willing to put in the money that they needed to make this movie happen like, the way they
get out of here.
But he wasn't
Naked Gun. He was in it for like 2 seconds and it was like a fucking which was a great joke, but like
I can't wait for this to be an amazing movie and completely, you know, give us Henry Cavill back at the top of the marquee.
And you know the difference is like I'm sure Dave Bautista is going to do a great job, but I don't think he's going to be better than the Kurgan from the original. Like Clancy, the best part of the original fucking movie is Clancy Brown in that goddamn movie. He was having so much fun. The rest of the movie's kind of dog shit, but like he is awesome in that movie. So, you know.
Well, we shall see. There'll be more photos and first looks and then, you know, behind the scenes set photos, but I love the way it looks so far, and I'm sure we'll get more of it soon. I can't wait for Highlander. Oh god, like when we got those first official looks to Henry Cavill, looked great. Yeah, and then thank you, Monique. Yeah, Lionsgate did drop it and kind of like handed it over to Amazon. We talked about it last year, I think, on the show. Who wants to live forever? Yeah, okay. My man Batista needs to play Bane.
Wants to live forever?
We've talked about that before. I don't think Batista is probably going to be playing Bane, but he, maybe Batista from 2005 would have made for a great Bane. Boo John, Highlander was sick of. I thought Highlander 2 is not good.
Nobody thinks Highlander 2 or The Source are good movies. Literally, Highlander has the show and the movie, and that's it. That's the only good things part of the Highlander franchise.
Well, we're done with the news part of the show, so let us know what you thought about it. Hit the like button if you haven't already. But we're not done yet, because we're not going to move on to the next part of the show. The ride ain't over yet, my man. It's time to talk about some DC stuff. And we're going to be doing a lot of puppy Krypto today. So I just wanted to take a moment to once again wish Zelda and the great beyond the best of wishes. And Corgi, and she's crossed the Rainbow Bridge. But it was really, really good to see, puppy Krypto show up this weekend at the Super Bowl, the Puppy Bowl. And, well, we're going to talk about it and so much more on DCU Daily.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chorus.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in the stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka, hunka.
All right. Welcome on into another episode of DCU Daily. Honka honka indeed. Honka honka from everybody. Caleb, Monique is here, Bane is here, M2G is here. Who won the Puppy Bowl? I forgot. I'm gonna look that up. Hashtag blessed. That's right. And victory mine is DC time. That is very true. That's why we are here. So hey, we got a lot to get into. Of course, the Puppy Bowl happened, at the same time as the Super Bowl. If you guys want a little more cuteness, you gotta watch the Puppy Bowl. And that's where we got a new Supergirl trailer. More of a teaser trailer than like a full trailer, but it was more than enough. So we'll talk about it. And we'll be getting into a bunch of other DC quick hits. Of course, we've got Grant Morrison maybe talking down Superman from last year. You'd imagine that, he would universally love everything that movie was. I mean, he did talk about it. It'd been a pretty positive light last year when the movie came out, but maybe not so much now. Zack Snyder, of course, posting more photos. We got some fan art to get into. There is some news about Paradise Lost, what's going on with that DC prequel series to Wonder Woman, and, where that's at. We haven't heard about it officially in a long time. And, of course, James Gunn has been busy hinting at stuff. Maybe Swamp Thing is picking back up somewhere. Weasel also we'll talk about from Creature Commandos. So lots to get into. And of course, we'll get into all of the Supergirl Puppy Bowl trailer stuff. So John, which part of all of that I just went through are you most excited about?
I'm excited to talk about puppy stuff, because who doesn't love puppies? So puppies it is.
Absolutely. Let's go. Jalen says DC, DC, DC. We hear the chanting through justice, puppy. Yeah, dude, they're gonna sell so much merchandise. It's like, again, I'm grinning. You're like, we finally got some of that Disney, merch acumen coming over to the DC side of things from Marvel, for better or for worse. Not that DC didn't make bank on merchandise before, but like you could tell, like they're James Gunn and Peter Safran know what they've got here with Krypto, and they're making it work. But yeah, we'll get into the Paradise Lost news later as well. Again, not really official news, but gives us a pretty good idea, because James Gunn and Peter Safran haven't really been talking about it too much, but we did hear from somebody else. So yeah, we at least got a trailer this year at the Puppy Bowl, M2G. That's right. You weren't expecting that. Expectations were low based on last year. I'm glad that they realized that people wanted more. because we felt like we got baited into not a whole lot last year with Superman.
Mhm.
So anyway, John, let's get into the DC quick hits, the Paradox Pelicans of DC News. Walk us through the quick hits.
So first thing we have is Zack Snyder still dwindling on the past. Here we are.
I mean,
Cool
he's
shot,
more
but-
celebrating at this point, and it is a cool shot. Like that looks pretty epic to me. Batman. I just wish he had longer years, but like I like it. I enjoy these. Again, as long as you're not like being led to believe this is gonna lead to some resurgence of the DCEU. But yeah, oh my aura indeed. It looks epic. I mean, look, Ben Affleck's Batman was great. And I loved it. And it was one of the more epic, iconic iterations of Batman, but we have never really had a bad Batman, so I'm good with that. Anyway.
George Clooney would say otherwise, but you know.
Oh yeah,
that's
you know,
beside
George
the point.
Clooney is the best Batman per George Clooney. So
So this person did a few fast Batman keyframe sketches for warm-ups inspired by Brave and the Bold. So it's just a lot of cool imagery in regard to
it looks like great fan art. I love to see some good fan art, and again, people just, if you are inspired enough by a story that moved you to the point where you go and spend your creative energy making stuff that is as good as this, I'm like, guys, I'm sure it's happened before, but like some of these folks need to be hired by the companies to like actually do official illustrations for the comics, because it's, yeah, but this looks great. And there was somebody posting jokingly that the Batman Brave and the Bold script leaked, and I was like, dude, it's not even April, it's not even March yet. Let's not like lead people down the wrong road. So yeah, they're beautiful. Looked at them for 5 hours now. Anyway, let's keep on going.
But then we have this one where it's more fan art of Sebastian Stan as Two-Face. So very cool.
You know, I kind of thought about this for a moment. Imagine if they call it the Batman Two-Face. Is that
although you could see that the coin is a certain somebody, so you know that's saying something.
Okay. But looks great, fan art. It looks neat, as Enterprising said. Respect my authority. Yeah.
I don't know what this guy's referencing. But...
no, move past that one. Bucky Barnes,
speaking of upcoming films, Nicholas Hoult is bulking up for round 2 against Superman as filming for Man of Tomorrow approaches. So, you know, there's the whole idea of like All-Star Superman, he's going to be in prison, all that stuff. But like, he's doing the same shot that
it's literally
David Cornsweet did a couple weeks back with the same trainer. So, you know,
I'm sure that's not a coincidence. So
it is not.
Yep.
But looking good. Looking good, Nicholas Hoult. Like the polo shirt's like, please don't flex anymore. You can like hear the shirt ripping.
Like, gone, you know? Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited for Man of Tomorrow. We all are, I think. Just a little bit cautious, but James Gunn hasn't missed yet, so we'll see. Let's go.
But speaking,
by the way,
speaking of All-Star Superman,
yeah, there you go.
We have Grant Morrison. You know, he said that he does have some issues with it. He loved the movie, but he does have some issues. It became the closest to capturing what Superman feels like. I had a few things I didn't like about it. James made specific choices that I think were made for dramatic reasons that were understandable. In order to make him seem more relatable, he had him getting beat up an awful lot. I want to see him stop getting beaten up and fight back. I didn't like it because I prefer wit when I prefer wit hen Krypton's this loss. I think he said I prefer it when, but the guy fucked up with the editing process. Krypton's this lost utopia. I like the idea that there was something amazing and nature just wiped it out. Their own lack of attention to detail allowed them to be wiped out. I think there's something much more poignant about that, which I 100% agree with. The thing I found almost upsetting it was that it felt like Superman's morality was quite fragile. It was just based on this wish fulfillment bullshit, more instead of how Kal-El interpreted the message left by his parents before the truth was revealed. While the writer admitted to being worried by Clark Kent's fragility in some scenes. He was happy to see Superman showing his strength during his speech to Lex Luthor after the final battle. They put him in a position where I was concerned that he would break down, lose his compass. The fact that he didn't was just nice to see. So obviously he had some things to say, but it was mainly just like, that's not how I interpret the character, but this is James Gunn's interpretation, and that's fine. But there were some things I didn't like.
I mean, he got a little like emotionally charged in a couple of those statements. Like when you pull out the BS word, it's like, is there trouble in the House of DC? Because isn't Grant Morrison? I mean, he's obviously been one of the principal inspirations for James Gunn, and then isn't he involved in DC Studios in some way? Like it's I get some looks. I agree with some of his critiques. Like I still think that whole the way Krypton is portrayed, that's a choice. I still don't agree with that choice, and I guess we'll see maybe with more context in what they do in Supergirl, maybe what we see in Man of Tomorrow, it might change our minds, but it still doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit right with me, and I think ultimately, like one of the things that he mentioned was just how like Superman, it's that whole idea of like he's this wish fulfillment idea. That he does what he does because that's what his parents wanted him to do. And I get like there's a really poetic nature of you are like, what is it what does Pac-Man say? It's like your actions make you who you are, right? Like that right. Ultimately is the message. I do like the poignant nature of that. But I also am like, with Man of Steel, they did something where Clark Kent and Superman were like, he wasn't like a completed concept. Like we got a very much somebody who was learning to be Superman, who was like Clark Kent, like his experiences on Earth defined him more because that's where he grew up, the nature versus nurture thing. And I think it was better written, that arc in Man of Steel personally, than in Superman, where it felt very surface level at times. And then just again, the whole Krypton thing. But the way they incorporate the Kents, there's good and bad to both. I'm just saying I kind of understand and agree with what Morrison is saying. So I looked at it as right. Like,
that's fair. I think he has some decent critiques, but it's not like out of hatred. It's like clearly this person understands Superman, and he's like, I just interpret it a little bit differently, and I agree with some of those. Like, I still don't like the Krypton twist. That bothers me. I don't think it's like a lot of people said, oh, it tests the hero. It's just like you can test the hero in a lot of fucking different ways.
Yeah.
Like, you could test the idea of, like, oh, the thing he came from is actually evil. It's like, I don't know. It just, like, it just feels like a weird way. Like, they did that with the Batman. I didn't really like it there. They did it here. It just feels wrong to me.
It also felt like it was done before and didn't feel like it didn't feel like a Superman story in that sense. And I'm like, if you're able to say that about Man of Steel, or a lot of people do, I don't think we should.
Like, everyone's saying, "Oh, the fucking message is good." James Gunn said it's not misinterpreted, it's not changed, it's not altered. We are gung ho on the idea that the Kryptonians suck. We're sticking to that until he says otherwise. That's what he's like. That's the thing we're gonna go with, and it's just like. It's a shame, but
I mean, he doesn't need to like spill anything.
Here's the thing: I prefer them to stick with a shitty twist than for them to backpedal, because then it's just like, oh, they get up on because that's exactly what happened with the Rise of Skywalker. They did this thing, even though Last Jedi was not well executed in any way. Stay the course, but no, what did they do? They spent half the movie backpedaling and then the other half trying to continue the story, and it sucked. If they do that with Man of Tomorrow, just hit the DOA on the DCU. It just goes to show he's going to kowtow to other people's like bullshittery instead of his own vision. Do I love every part of that vision? No. But James Gunn needs to stick with his vision, and his vision is the Kryptonians are assholes, which I don't like.
Yeah.
But
or even like the way he said it, it's not even like they're assholes, like, because it's that idea of like our moral compass is uniquely like a human thing to Earth. Like
I get it, but it's just
like I understand that, but like I like I get that, like, but it did still, like Charlie said,
like when John Byrne did it in the comics, there was like literally an entire arc about undoing that because it was stupid. So they're like, where it was like, actually, son, we're not assholes. We did this whole thing because of blah blah blah. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be fixed or anything. I don't think it should be fixed. Like, if it is, like, maybe there's a good story reason for it, but like it just seems like backpedaling to me. And it's just like, don't backpedal for the haters. Like, it just
Yeah. Again, this is only one movie, and clearly that whole thing will come in play in Supergirl and other projects involving Krypton, or Kryptonians. So again, hopefully with more context, it will get easier. But then again, look, we lived with the Martha moment being canon with the DCEU for years, so this certainly doesn't feel as extreme, relatively speaking. So we'll see, or as widely ridiculed as that was. So,
right.
Yeah, it's too soon to say, like Caleb was saying. Agree with you there. So, yeah.
Yeah. But next up, we have Supergirl test screening details.
Grain of salt,
They revealed a
because
bunch
there's
of stuff on
always
Lobo
yeah.
and
So if you go down
Prem
and
and
they
all that
talk
stuff.
about it, yeah.
But
Axel talks film, yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
Axel talks film. The cinematography, they said, was an upgrade compared to Superman's, and there's an action-packed hallway scene that's said to be as good as those seen in Daredevil and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Supergirl also has a darker tone than Superman. We could have figured that out. With a story that focuses on human trafficking and a lot more violence. Could have figured that with what the comic it's based on. Overall, though, there's said to be a perfect balance of humor, darkness, and lightness. Other interesting tidbits include the redesigned Creme of the Yellow Hills being extremely menacing and a tremendous villain, which is saying something considering that was one of the biggest parts of the early test screenings, that he was kind of milquetoast and not very good. So now it seems, according to this person, he's done a lot better. Okay. Meanwhile, Jason Momoa's, the most surprising thing out of all of this is that Jason Momoa's Lobo is said to have a substantial role that's crucial to the ending of the movie, which I've said this since the beginning. Like, oh, you have someone as big as Jason Momoa. They don't want to take that away from Supergirl. And the bounty hunter character in the comic, who was originally supposed to be Lobo, but editorial at the time was like, no, you can't use Lobo. So he's like, okay. So he made like a generic bounty hunter character, and he was there for like a scene or two and then left. So it's like, oh, he's probably going to get like 5 to 15 minutes of screen time. But the fact that he's substantial and crucial is maybe Tom King had like more to do when it was supposed to be Lobo, but then it cut it down when it's like, oh, I just made a generic bounty hunter character. Or Anna Naguera understood the assignment and she's like, this character is one that a lot of people like, so let's fucking actually use him. And if he's being played by Jason motherfucking Momoa, so let's let's bump him up and put him in more scenes and stuff like that. There is that. So trusted source, Cryptic 4K Qual, I don't want to say trusted, he's hit and miss, has also weighed in to say this matches what they've been told, but noted that 2 separate sources called Creme lame and underwhelming. So that's what we were talking about before. The insider later added, it's basically bits of Superman 2025, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Logan, Man of Steel, and The Last of Us mashed into one film without the R-rated elements. Whoever's seen it would probably understand my film choices. Krypto is Rocket, Kara is Joel/Logan. So for the most part, that all sounds very positive. So
wait, are we gonna get like a
kind of the
Krypto
vibe I'm getting with
flashback?
outside of Guardians 3. I still don't get a Guardian. It doesn't feel like Guardians to me. It's just out of the side of the fact it's in space. But yeah, I could definitely see the Logan and Last of Us comparisons. It's where it's like, Kara is, like getting younger person and traveling across a place to do something with them. And yeah, it's very Logan, Last of Us coded. But remember,
like Joel,
here's the thing
yeah.
that a lot of people are forgetting. It's also literally the whole fucking point of the original story. It's true grit in space. That was the original fucking older like mentor bringing young girl across a place to get revenge type shit. Like it's
Western,
literally true
sort of
grit.
space Western,
It's true
yeah.
grit in space. Like that's literally
It's a
the
space
story.
Western story, yeah.
Yeah.
I just hope that like when they say Krypto is Rocket and it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3-esque, that we don't get like Krypto used to have buddies that didn't quite make it, sort of like that would
maybe he had a couple stray dogs and they all kind of after Krypton got killed.
I'm not ready for that right now, but yeah, okay. But hey, test screenings are grain of salt because James Gunn has said. But again, this is not a James Gunn directed movie, so maybe the process is a little bit different. But it's still DC Studios. I would just kind of take it with a grain of salt because most of these test screening reports are not coming from a direct source. They're coming from like second, third-handed, fourth-handed sources. So we'll see. I mean, so far, the reactions have been not entirely convincing, but the trailers haven't been either. So we'll see if that picks up. The movie always can surprise us, and so far I think we're all leaning on the positive, especially when we talk about what they dropped at the Puppy Bowl later in the show. But let's keep going for now.
Yeah. But next up we have DC Studios has officially cast actor David Denkick in the DCU's Clayface movie. Welcome to the DCU, David. Obviously this is coming from everything _ DCU, so it might be bullshit. And we don't know who he's playing, so I don't know who this guy is, so yeah.
You know what? Good to see him join the cast, and I'm sure we'll figure it out in the movie, probably in a supporting role. And I think he's more of a character actor. So, welcome, David, and we shall move on.
But next up, Weasel made 2 days ago made his first appearance in The Fury Firestorm number 35, written by Jerry Conway, and pencils by Raphael Kayanen, and inks by Alan Kupperberg. It's always have a special place in my heart for Weasel, portrayed by the one and only his brother Sean Gunn in Courage Commandos and Suicide Squad. So,
yeah, and we're gonna see him in Creature Commando season 2, right? So,
yes,
more to come. So yeah, Weasel. I think again one of the master strokes from James Gunn in terms of giving us characters that have a lot of appeal, non-conventional appeal, like a talking tree. Speaking of Dom Toretto. Anyway, let's keep moving. Is that the last quick hit that we got?
Yep. No, we actually have more. I think.
Oh, we kind of just went through the.
I thought there was one more, but no, there's not.
Okay. You kind of went through what did Gunn say there for a moment, but let's switch it up because he did post about the Weasel, and so we talked about the anniversary. But the more important thing that James Gunn shared. Speaking of what did Gunn say, John, he shared like some Swamp Thing artwork. So does that mean that James Mangold's movie is finally moving forward? Like if you there's some artwork that he shared in his stories. It wasn't really like a reel or anything. It's one of those like James Gunn knows what he's talking about and the shit he's stirring up. But what does it mean? I think they actually have the link, like an image to it here. There it is from his stories. I think when you click into it, it just goes to some artwork from an artist. But yeah. What do you make of this, John? Does this mean we're getting any closer to that Swamp Thing film now that James Gunn is teasing it?
Just, I think James Gunn is being a little fucking troll like he usually is.
I don't know. I'm ready for James Mangold to actually do something about this, but he's got the Paramount deal. He's supposedly, if you believe him, trying to get that Star Wars movie he's working on off the ground by the end of this year, but now they have the new people in charge over at Disney, so although Dave Filoni isn't exactly somebody who just walked in the door, so maybe that's still going on. What's the Knights of the Old Republic? Isn't that what they're working on over there? Isn't that what
I think it's like Dawn of the Jedi or something.
Was it? Okay, yeah, it's meant to be like in the past, right? Like really, or
it's like literally the beginning of like what becomes the Jedi.
The Jedi, right?
Like a proto.
I have not
Jedi
read
kind of thing.
Yeah. By the way, I have not read the Ramvi's run of Swamp Thing figure drawing, but I mean, look, this artwork looks interesting, and yeah, maybe we should be reading up on our Swamp Thing because James Gunn likes to tease, but then again, is this closer to that Dead Man photo? Remember he posted that Dead Man photo, and then we did like all this speculation and fan casting around it, and then that's not turned into anything yet. Maybe it's one of the secret projects that has been greenlit, but if it's gonna be directed by James Mangold, we're gonna have to wait for like a few years, because with the Paramount deal, they're gonna expect him to do something there. What he's already got at Lucasfilm and looks further along, because it looks like there's a script in place and mostly done. He doesn't even have really a fully formed idea for Swamp Thing. It's just, it seems like when he talked about it last, James Mangold more or less just kind of was like, look, James Gunn is taking over. I'm going to throw my name in the hat and I'd like to be involved. But then when he was asked about it on the red carpet last year, when he was promoting his Bob Dylan movie biopic, he was like, he wants to, if he's going to do it, he kind of wants to do it in his own little bubble. Like, he doesn't want to have to worry about it connecting to a larger universe, which I'm sure they can achieve, even if it is part of the DCU. But yeah, I just wish they worked on anything that fast anymore. I just don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, unless things have changed behind the scenes in some dramatic way. But I'm sure Paramount has no reason right now to let James Mangold go and work for Warner Brothers, soon to be part of Netflix, and all the other stuff that's going on in the greater reality of Hollywood. So we'll see if anything changes here, unless, like you said, John, James Gunn is just trolling us. So yeah, maybe happened to Derek. Okay, yeah, we'll see where it goes. But John, we got to talk about Paradise Lost, because remember, that was one of the original projects they announced, one of like 5 TV shows. Of those 5, I think a good chunk have not come to fruition yet. We haven't gotten the Waller show. We haven't gotten the Booster Gold show.
One are Creature Commandos and Lanterns are the only ones that have.
Yeah,
although they already happened, Lanterns happening.
Although they did do Peacemaker season 2, which wasn't announced, but of the 5 TV shows in that original slate announcement for the DCU, 3 of them didn't happen. One of them is Paradise Lost. The last time they were asked, Peter Safran and James Gunn weren't giving much away, but they were saying they sort of implied it was in development hell, or like it was sort of at a standstill. Well, we know as of last year that Ana Nogueira has been working on a script for Wonder Woman, not for like a prequel, but for a Wonder Woman movie, and that's become a huge priority for them, in addition to Batman, that Christina Hodson's working on with James Gunn. So, according to this report on comicbookmovie.com, which comes by way of John Roca talking about it on his YouTube channel, John, why don't you walk us through what he said, because it looks like Paradise Lost might just never happen. It might just be dead at DC.
So John Roca has said, sources are telling me that DC was meeting with writers for Paradise Lost, was taking pitches for Paradise Lost, but they've been informed that the project is dead. Paradise Lost is dead. It will not be happening as a TV show, and not dead in the sense of like, well, they're just going to wait for a script. They're being told, these writers and these people who've pitched storylines for Paradise Lost to be the showrunners or the writers on Paradise Lost, they've been told that this project is now dead, no longer in active development, dead. Like, if you fucking don't understand, dead. And that is a massive bit of news, because I think a lot of people felt that it was a little weird that you were going to do a Themyscira show but not have Wonder Woman in it. Well, I mean, it makes sense if you wanted to do a prequel, but like, I get like the idea that like, oh, they were trying to do something different and it just didn't take. So I think
it was gonna be like the Game of Thrones-esque show, right? That was their reference point.
Yeah, it was like gonna take place before Wonder Woman was like born or whatever.
Before Diana was born,
yeah, I think that it was definitely an interesting idea, and it would have, I think, done something kind of different, but I don't know.
I agree, by the way, MTG is saying,
yeah, I think Wonder Woman should like establish
what Themyscira is
first. I mean, they kind of sort of did with Creature Commandos, because like Cersei was the main villain and there was that whole thing. So, I mean, it's an interesting idea. It's different. Like, I'll give them that. It's unique, it's different, so yeah.
Yeah. Bane with the jokes. Paradise Lost is truly lost. I mean,
again,
Man
of Tomorrow is not casting for Wonder Woman. We don't know that female character yet, and it's very unlikely that it's Wonder Woman.
And then Roca did report that, which again, James Gunn sort of debunked it in a way. And that being said, this is not coming from an official source, but John Roca tends to get things right more often than not. That being also said, I agree with what you were saying, John, and what MTG was saying. And here's the reason why with Paradise Lost could still happen in the future, but Wonder Woman should come first, because this has happened in the DCEU. Like, Zack Snyder did the Justice League movie, and that was our first look at Aquaman, and Zack Snyder like decided the look of the Lanteans and the whole thing about like what they wear, like how you visually portray them. And then, also with the Flash, And what other character was there? But Cyborg, although Cyborg less so because we never got a solo Cyborg movie. But when we got to the Flash movie, we got to the Aquaman movie, clearly they went in different directions visually. So it was like just didn't want to get limited to that Zack Snyder look. So I appreciate that if they were to give us a Wonder Woman movie first in the DCU, it gives that movie the right to set the tone for what is Themyscira in this universe. What do the what are they called? What do the Amazonians look like? How do they walk, talk, behave? What is their culture? And then of course you get the biggest ambassador of the Amazonians, Princess Diana. Of course, Diana is Wonder Woman, and from there you can then build on doing a prequel, like what they've been doing with the Dune prequel, Dune Prophecy, that's built on the Dune mythology, and the movies. So I like that idea, and it's also because this was going to be like a Game of Thrones-esque prequel series. First of all, a prequel series doesn't make any sense if there's nothing to be a prequel to, so that's another reason anyway. But this is also the idea of they would be working on this with HBO, and maybe HBO would, and HBO clearly has a lot of say on these projects that are like co-ops between HBO and DC Studios, like Lanterns, for example. Like James Gunn doesn't even know like where that is at most of the time. Like he's not that focused on it. Maybe Peter Safran knows more, or maybe it's more about Casey Bloys and his HBO team, and whether it's the marketing or like when they're putting out a trailer or the show coming out and all that stuff. So yeah, I would imagine maybe HBO was like, well, we're gonna maybe try to do a second season of the Penguin. We're doing Lanterns. We did, just do Peacemaker season 2. We got Creature Commandos season 2 coming out. Maybe let's hold off on Paradise Lost, because I can imagine that would be a huge investment. And HBO's bar for quality is really high. They actually remember they shot a $50 million pilot to a Game of Thrones spinoff, canceled it, and they had some A-list actors attached to it as well. We went in a completely different direction. We got House of the Dragon. Now we have the Knights of the Middle King, whatever, the one that's on right now. And then there's another one coming out later this year. So like the bar is high. So I can understand maybe HBO had something to do with this, if this is indeed true. It had the potential to be great. I think it could still be great if they do ever make it, and they make it to that level of, kind of storytelling that Game of Thrones was known for. But until then, John, I'm not surprised, like you said, and we haven't really heard anything on this project for a while. It looked like it was dead in the water, development hell, and if John Roca is to be believed, it is now actually dead, and just not happening. But yeah, I mean, the idea will still live on somewhere on a shelf, and maybe they can get back to it once a Wonder Woman movie hits and does really well in the DCU. But yeah, I'm glad that they're focusing on that right now, because that's going to have a greater impact on the general perception of the Wonder Woman and the Amazonians in the DCU, and then you go and do a prequel. I just think, that just would make more sense. But hey, we move on to Supergirl. John, the Puppy Bowl this past weekend. Of course, the Super Bowl happened. The Puppy Bowl happened simultaneously on the Animal Network. And last year with Superman, we were expecting a sneak peek. All we got were a bunch of little like crypto emojis and stuff, or like these little animated bits. And then we didn't really get a proper trailer. We didn't really get even a clip or a behind the scenes featurette. All we got was, the bowl cut, a little bit of a meme situation with Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, and none of us wanted that. And I think we were all disappointed. We all lamented that. Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Thank you, Jalen. That's the name of the show. Penthouse of the Dragon. Anyway. But at the Super Bowl this year, leading up to the release of Supergirl, we did, leading up to it, of course, they were promoting it all over. I think there's a bunch of like marketing reels and stuff. So they did feature this kind of stuff with Krypto during the Puppy Bowl. Of course, we love seeing Krypto, especially now that they've got all of this stuff. Probably some of these assets are, already coming over from Superman anyway. And at the Puppy Bowl number 22, John, they did drop a real trailer for Supergirl. And if you go over to that for a second, I want to get your thoughts on this. It was a proper trailer. shorter than the trailer we've gone a month or so ago. It's like a minute and some change. The biggest thing, of course, you see there in the thumbnail is Puppy Krypto. I called him Baby Krypto. I'm pretty sure everybody thought it was Baby Krypto until they released a poster and called it Puppy Krypto. What are your thoughts on this? Because if you walk through the trailer, you see more of a dying Krypton. We will even take a look at some of the other Kryptonians we got to see in the trailer. It was a surprise, and I thought it was the cutest trailer at the Super Bowl. What did you think about it?
I think it I thought it was a good trailer. Again, it's like mostly the same, but it's just like this time we have
Eric.
very cute dog. But I we do get a bit more on what Argo City looks like, or what we assume to be Argo City. I kind of like the vibe of it all, and I like I like seeing Puppy Krypto, and it was overall like a good trailer. I'm not acting like it was the greatest thing ever, but like it was good. It was good.
It adds more context because again, a lot of the footage we have seen before in previous teasers and trailers and ads, but the Puppy Krypto stuff was new, and they knew what they were doing. They were like, this is accurate, because at least like Eric was saying, they didn't overpromise and underdeliver, because they were saying we're gonna get a special look at Krypto during the Puppy Bowl. We got it here. Like now, everybody's gonna be going after it, and DC and James Gunn, DC Studios, and Warner Brothers, they know what they're doing, John, because right after they dropped the teaser, they then dropped the poster, which looks cute as hell. We put it in our thumbnail today because why not? You got Puppy Krypto there, like the collar's too big for him, and I assume that's maybe Krypton or whatever behind him. You really, it looks like we're gonna get to see the relationship between Kara and when she first met Krypto and how that developed. This is gonna be probably the best part of the movie. They're probably gonna play out in flashbacks, obviously, and then they were like, why don't we capitalize on this like Disney would? Like we gotta get the merch train, on rolling on the tracks, John, because not only did they put out merch, we will talk about in a minute, but there's a new Snapchat filter, and I already see people using it. So even though I don't know if Snapchat is really a thing these days as much, but we did get a Snapchat filter, and so I guess if you want to give that a shot, super cute. But then let's take a look at, if you go back to those photos we have, let's take a look at Krypto in the trailer, because of course that's the main
here he is. He's like kind of going through garbage, which is like kind of weird for Krypton. Of all, like it's supposed to be like kind of more utopian, but
maybe that tells us something about Krypton that we didn't know before in the DCU.
Yeah, so then you have Krypto going through garbage.
So cute.
Look how cute he is, and then poster.
He's been playing in the dirt. Give him a shower. I love how like the ear stays up all the time, like his left ear, and that's like completely based on Ozu, James Gunn's real dog. Yeah, he really needed a shower. Oh, a good little boy. He needed a shower. He was playing in the dirt. It looks like Kara took care of him, and it's it probably got Kara through some of the worst parts of her life so far. And yeah, I know this is not a James Gunn directed movie, John, but it definitely starting to feel more and more like Guardians-esque themes. So there's definitely that. Your thoughts on the value of this for the movie itself? Because from a marketing standpoint, from an average movie-going audience, we've got the Mandalorian and Grogu coming out this year. People have been sort of unsure about Supergirl so far, and even just the fans and the general audiences, it hasn't really left as much of an impact as Superman did. But now the best is, like this takes over, almost like it's like Supergirl so far has generated more buzz with everything but the main character. It's like people are more excited to see Lobo and now Baby Krypto. But I mean, maybe for the better or for the
sell
worse.
The movie. Like
yeah,
Supergirl
I get it.
Isn't really a huge draw. So like you gotta people know Jason Momoa, they love Jason Momoa, and Lobo is essentially just Jason Momoa with makeup. So you have that. Then you know
how Figure Drawing feels about that.
Krypto, cute animal. They like Baby Grogu and all that shit.
Baby Groot.
Baby Groot is another one. So it's just like the like Baby Rocket from Volume 3.
All the James Gunn stuff.
So you have that. Thing is, Millie Alcock, not really. Even though like the idea of stardom
Will
is
win.
dead. There are still people
Mm-hmm.
that go see a movie that might like do a little bit more research of like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I know this actor. Thing is, like the cast is not very well known. Like you have the most famous outside of Jason Momoa is probably David Krumholtz, and even that's that's pushing it.
Not even close to like I mean
Um,
Jason Momoa level of, but I get it. Like among the
yeah,
movie going fans,
but
yeah.
like you have like Millie Alcock,
Mm-hmm.
Matthias Schoenaerts, where the most famous thing he did was fucking get arrested for fucking DUIs.
He's got a
So,
warrant out for his arrest, yeah.
But you know, it just feels like you know, there's not a lot to it in terms of marketing, so it's like, okay, let's sell it this way with cute things and people we know and the overall vibe. And maybe because the thing is, I could see like people, I could definitely see them like trying to be like Guardians-esque, even though I didn't really see it from the trailer. I could see them doing Guardians-esque shit because
It's just
then
more
it's like,
so
oh,
like
people
your
know that.
cute
Let's
character,
bring
you
people
know,
in
yeah.
with that. Let's have it feel like that so people go and watch it. So,
Right.
you know,
It's just
I get it.
It's like I do wonder, and then this is not being a Debbie Downer. I'm just trying to like think from the perspective of Warner Brothers and DC Studios from a marketing perspective.
Right.
They clearly felt compelled to do a lot more this year with promoting Supergirl than they did with Superman. Is it more because they think Supergirl needs it? Is it because they felt like they really underdelivered and people were not happy? Remember we talked about last year what happened with the Puppy Bowl and not really getting anything from Superman when they said they would give. I mean, James Gunn also touted it a lot, like, you know, a lot more than even did for this one here. Maybe they were like, because we talked about it at the time as like this is gonna be the first misstep in that whole Summer of Superman thing. And Supergirl clearly not as well known of a character. I still feel like it's a derivative character of Superman, even though they sort of made her to be her own character, and I get it what they were going for. But I'm just thinking, does this indicate that the studio knows this movie may have a hard time getting people's attention this year because of how crowded the movie release schedule is going to be, and the trailers haven't blown us away. Look, the word of mouth could travel. This movie could be amazing, and I really hope it is, and then that picks up. But it's going to be a grueling summer season. There's a lot of movies coming out, and people move on quicker these days from, like, if they don't see it the first couple of weekends, they're likely to wait for it till it comes out on
I mean, look at Bone Temple. Like that, after like 3 weekends, that got fucking pulled because like, oh, pull it.
And I mean, and that was like in the January of this year. I'm like, I'm sure some of these movies will get more of a leash, like Supergirl will get a bigger leash in the summer months, but you know, like Superman did too. But even Superman got pulled after 30. Well, exclusively it was in theaters for 35 days, but it kept playing for like 3 or 4 weeks more, depending on where you were, even once it was on streaming and you know, available to buy and rent. But I worry a little bit. Again, I love the trailer. I love seeing Krypto. I don't know if you can put up, there was more stills I think we had, but I do wonder the way they're marketing it now, and it leads me to believe maybe the studio's worried this movie might underperform. Because if it makes 350 million or less, I don't know. That might be a bad sign. And I'm sure that maybe it has no indication on what Man of Tomorrow will do next year. But if Supergirl, I think, needs to hit in order for Clayface to do well, because you need that momentum. And the Superman momentum, I think, you would imagine would carry it through, but it's been like it would have been like a year. So I wonder a little bit like if Supergirl might be in somewhat trouble, at least maybe the studio's admitting this a little bit. But then again, you never know. Like, you know, Krypto versus Grogu at the summer box office. Maybe they should lean into that marketing. Yeah, 350 million, I think, is my number right now. Like, that's got to be their target. If they go past 350 million, they probably are like, okay, we did what we like. That's a success. Whether it's going to be profitable at that number, I'm not sure. But John, you know what? Sometimes the most profit is comes from not just the movie's theatrical numbers or post-theatrical, it's the merchandise. Lilo and Stitch were made billions off the merchandise. They made $1 billion at the box office, but they made billions with an S at with the merchandise. So here we go. We got some Krypto merch, John. Puppy Krypto. Are you gonna get your hands on one of these hoodies or the shirts with Puppy Krypto on it?
Probably not. because they're probably way too expensive. So, I don't know, just the overall. I don't like the look of the shirt. Like he's cute, but like I don't
like the hoodie more
rest
than
of
the shirt. Like
the hoodie's better than the
personally.
shirt, definitely. The shirt looks weird. Like it looks like
It looks like some fan
a
made
first
thing.
year graphic designer
Yeah.
fucking designed that shit, and even that's being kind of mean to first year graphic designers. So the second one's the hoodie's a little bit better, but
Yeah. I agree with you, but hey, it's still that's a big.
maybe there's better stuff. You have this like
the
film cells mini montage
I like that
thing. I get that.
That looks.
You have a red pet bandana. You can get a collar, a leash. This is I think leftover stuff from Superman. Like you have
Superman,
the Superman poster of take him home and the sleeping Krypto plushie and the premium shirts and posters and
some of this
you could get a cardboard cutout for $50. You could get a fucking treat jar, a personalized treat jar, a personalized pet bowl. Jesus Christ, so ridiculous.
But... I mean, I could probably replicate that and then get it printed and for less from Vistaprint or something. Anyway,
but this is like the new stuff. So.
Yeah, I do agree. The shirt design is a little
$64. I'm not paying $60 for
a lot of money.
Fucking hoodie.
For a hoodie,
get out of here.
But still, I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be more merch to come. And now that we know Puppy Krypto's coming up, I do hope that the second trailer for the movie is stronger. But John, if you just go back to the Krypto photos for a moment, it's sort of like, by hook or by crook, we gotta sell the movie, and they know what their strengths are. I mean, whether it's Lobo or not Puppy Krypto, it was the cutest trailer of the weekend, and Baby Yoda was also in one of the trailers, so that says something. And I'm like, I can't wait for this, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun watch. Hopefully, it's a really good movie. I just hope they don't make us cry the way that they did in Guardians 3. But, we also got a look at Zor-El for the first time. Because you talked about David Krumholtz, John. We haven't really seen an official look at David Krumholtz yet in Supergirl. But as part of this trailer, we get to... Because we had seen Emily Beecham, as the... I forget, what's the name of the mother character?
Alora Enzi.
Laura Enzi. So we got to see her briefly in the other trailer that they put out for a moment. But I don't know if you had the link for that here, but we do get to see David Krumholtz for the first time, right next to Kara.
I almost didn't recognize him. I'm like, oh, that's David Krumholtz. Yeah. Holy shit.
I had to pause. I found this photo and I'm like, oh, let me go back and watch, and then pause and oh, there he is. He's kind of hidden away, but I mean, maybe that's
there
just,
very not a good high quality picture, but hey, he's there.
Figure drawing why is Krypto and Lobo makeup? Hey, I see what you did there. David Krumholtz, John, what do you think about the look of the character? Again, in line with the Bradley Cooper iteration.
Yeah,
maybe a little more fleshed out.
I like the look of the Krypto. Again, the whiteness of it. The cleanness of it. But I think this is on Argo City now, so it's not as great, because that was the thing. Argo City got saved when Krypton exploded, and then I think this was confirmed in the comic. I assume they're doing this because in this trailer and the previous trailer, where they're so Krypton died that day. She's
didn't die in a day.
It didn't die in a day. Gods are not that forgiving, or whatever the fuck she said. But. Yeah, the whiteness, haha. But I meant the white garb and kind of that faux utopian kind of vibe. But so it's definitely, it seems like what they're doing is they're making it so that Argo City was saved, but they're basically living on a giant hunk of kryptonite. So everyone's dying of kryptonite poisoning. So I imagine Supergirl, not only she saw her entire planet die, and then she saw her entire city die, and then she gets yeeted out of there by spaceship.
Quick question though, because if they were pulling the city out of the ground, wasn't there kryptonite there when it was on Krypton anyways?
No, because it was caught in the explosion that made everything radioactive. So
okay, and then that's how because that's
how I think it became kryptonite.
Got it.
So
yeah. Oh wow, Enterprising's already
Damn.
having
Okay.
battles in the
Fucking
chat.
violent as fuck. Jesus.
God,
Jeez.
Krypto. I thought they would just like hang
the
out and
fuck,
have
bro?
fun. Krypto and Grogu would be friends, I think. But
Yeah.
the level of regalness shown here is, or I guess like I'm just trying to say that Bradley Cooper, Jor-El costume looked a little more regal. Like, but again, it's the color, the lighting. Maybe it is the same thing, just looks different in different lighting. It's also could be more fleshed out because clearly one was a cameo. This would be probably hopefully a bigger role in the movie, however long we do see it. But David Krumholtz, I'm glad that we get to see him because like we've talked about him many a times and we get to see more of Krypton. John, any predictions on when you think we might get another full trailer? I feel like this now counts as like the next teaser trailer slash trailer. So I mean, we're in February, the movie comes out in June. Maybe I would imagine the All-Star
I'm
game.
thinking May. I'm gonna say May.
Okay.
We're gonna get like one final trailer because look at Project Hail Mary. We got a final trailer
Right.
that comes out in about a month. So usually a
and
final
some
trailer
change.
comes out
Yeah.
a month prior, maybe 3 weeks. So I'm thinking that it's probably gonna be May.
Yeah. And if they're gonna line it up with any, although Warner Brothers doesn't really have NBA anymore, they used to have it on TNT. If they're gonna line it up with the NBA playoffs, that could be a great place to do it. Or if they just release it online, that would be a good time to do it. They could also stick it behind another big movie coming out. If let's take a look at April and May for a quick second. You've got the Super Mario Galaxy movie coming out April 1st. That could be a good place to drop it. Trying to think if there's another one. Yeah, you probably don't want to drop it in front of the Mummy. Lee Cronin's Mummy. If you're talking about the timing, they could drop it in front of the Devil Wears Prada 2. That could bring, if you're targeting the more female crowd, like audience crowd, not that guys won't go see the Devil Wears Prada 2. Mortal Kombat 2, that's a Warner Brothers movie, comes out in May. That would be pretty much the similar timeline with like in terms of how far out to the movie coming out, putting out the final trailer like what Project Hail Mary did. Top Gun does a re-release on May 13th. Probably not likely there. You know what? May 22nd is when The Mandalorian and Grogu comes out. That could be a great place to drop it. You're going to see one really cute character. Here's another movie with a really cute character. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying. And then Disclosure Day and Scary Movie 6 all come out and both come out on June 12th. So that's probably a little too close. But yeah. No, we do not need a Krypto and a pole match in AEW. No, we don't need that. But I would love to see a Supergirl trailer sooner than that. But I don't.
No, you know what they need? They need Krypto getting choked out, and then he looks off into the distance, and then he gives up, and then everyone really gets mad for some reason.
I don't know where you were going with that, but
I was making fun of the reaction of John Cena getting defeated in his final match.
No, but he did tap out with like a rise.
No, I know. I'm making.
I see what
more
you
so
mean.
making
Okay,
fun of
I get
the
it. I get
people.
it. I get it.
I tried. Okay, I don't
Okay.
watch wrestling. Okay,
I know.
I tried.
Well, you were slightly off the mark, but it's okay. Yeah. So to answer your question, the Super Mario Galaxy movie is a big animated one. I think that's the only big animated movie in April. Although Michael comes out on April 24th, so there's that. I can't see another. Chimon, like I can't see another big. Chimon. Like I just love watching the Rush. Was it Rush Hour 2, where he's like Lee Chimon. It's like I just want to like watch. Rush Hour 2 is so good. Rush Hour 2, Rush Hour 1, and then the outtakes are like he's not gonna be in Rush Hour 3. Or after all we've been through, Rush Hour 1, Rush Hour 2. It's like I just love watching the. I don't care the circumstances. I'm gonna watch Rush Hour 4. I do not care the circumstances. I just because you watch it for the actors.
I only watched the first one years ago. I remember liking it. I thought it was fine. I don't really remember it though.
I'm a big Rush Hour. Anyway, now we're just off the track entirely. But hey, that's it. That's all we got for DCU Daily today. Supergirl. We'll see. Maybe they drop the next trailer in April or May. I personally thought that what they dropped here was 4.5 out of 10 because of Puppy Krypto. So that was, yeah. We already did the whole what would Dom say thing. So yeah, that's it. I know one of you guys were asking earlier. Our schedule, rush hours are classic. 100% Eric. So our show schedule this week, of course, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, we won't be live, but we might as well be because, like, it's we usually start late on a Tuesday night, so we'll be live into Wednesday early morning. Speaking of which, John, tomorrow on DCU Daily, we're gonna have the latest from the world of DC, Marvel, and all. Hopefully, we'll be getting a Doomsday trailer soon, like Dr. Doom here is talking about. So we'll see. And then after DCU Daily tomorrow, we're gonna get a Tier List Tuesday. And at last check, I'm going to do a quick refresh. It looks like the poll, which you guys can still vote on in the community post section on YouTube, 61% of the vote is going to Black superheroes. So we're going to do a Tier List Tuesday. And celebrating Black History Month, I'm sure we're going to have Black Panther on there. We're going to have Black Lightning. We're going to have Green Lantern.
John Stewart. We're going to have Black Canary. Just kidding. Yes. No, we're not, because she's not black. But...
we're gonna do goddamn Mr. Terrific. Static Shock.
Well, specifically the Michael Holt version, but yes.
Yeah. I think we should do every black superhero that's featured in a major TV show or movie, so that way we're not
Static. Obviously, that's another good one.
Love that show. It would be nice to see a Clayface poster of Dr. Doom. That would be nice to see it. But yeah, you guys voted for it.
Vixen,
so Tier List Tuesday.
Another good one.
Vixen, yep. Mm-hmm. Both in animation and live action Arrowverse.
Yes, sirree.
I mean, Hawkgirl, right? Like, not the iteration we're getting in... Isabella, because, like, there's two different versions of Hawkgirl, right?
I mean, Hawkgirl was black in the Arrowverse, but that's, like... I'm not talking about race-swapped versions. I'm talking about characters that were invented, and from day one, they were African-American, or African British, other things.
So John, I think we should do so that means Hancock has to be count, right? Because Hancock's gotta be it. Like,
I was talking more like Marvel DC, but we can include him if you want.
Hey, come on, like, it's like you gotta, like, yes, come on. I feel like Vixen definitely. Hancock will be in there.
Icon is another. I don't know much about Icon or a lot of the Milestone guys, but I'll try to throw them in there.
Steel, okay.
Steel, hell yeah. Not Shaquille O'Neal. The real one.
I was gonna say, do we do that?
No, Deadshot. Deadshot. He was originally white, so he does not count. We're not doing race swapped characters.
What about Nick Fury? Because technically,
that technically counts. Because if we're talking about the Ultimate Edition, so we can technically include him in there. And he eventually was brought into the mainline universe as the son of the original white Nick Fury. So. There you go.
Yep. Blue Marvel?
Meteor Man. Blank Man.
Mm-hmm. Are we gonna do like the Black Superman iterations? Not again, like, but like there is the why am I forgetting?
Luke Cage, of course. How are we forgetting fucking Luke Cage? Power Man. Yep. Come on now.
Power Man. Shaq Attack. Bring back the Shaq. Yeah. So many. Okay, there's a lot of names here, and so if you guys have any more that you want to suggest. Again, that are featured in a TV show or a movie, because then otherwise we'll be here for like forever. So we have to kind of narrow it down somewhat. But I think Mr. Glass, that's a good one. I guess.
But we're just gonna extending the definition bring of villains into this. That's
no. Okay, all right, okay. So we have to kind of like again, we gotta narrow down the criteria to something affordable. Bloodsport, is that originally?
I don't know if he was originally black. I don't think so.
I mean, but you do. It's like a major movie, the Suicide Squad. Like, I guess if
Bronze Tiger. Yes, I already mentioned Jon Stewart.
Yeah. Deadshot.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Yeah. No, not the. Yeah, not the Daily Show.
That's spelled Jon. The based version is spelled the proper way, JOHN. We don't do that JON shit in this house.
I can imagine why John is a little biased against that spelling. Or for that spelling, yeah.
Okay, I'm just not familiar with the character, so I don't know. But yeah, feel free.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you do Bloodsport, we should also do Deadshot, because those characters. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, we will be doing that tomorrow, and if you guys have any more ideas for names that you'd like to contribute to that Tier List Tuesday, let us know in the comments down below, and then we will bring those in. Hey, Filmology, I didn't know you were watching, but hey, thank you for the comment. Yeah, Diego Luna would be great, but it depends if you're going to get shot in the DCU or not. No villains. Yeah, it's going to be Black Superheroes Tier List Tuesday. Before that, we'll be live for DCU Daily. Until then, as we usually are at the end, and we will, we are always blessed from the beginning. Thank you to James Gunn. We'll see you next time. Hit the like button on the way out. Hit notifications bell so you know when we go live. And hit subscribe. What are you doing if you're not subscribed? Anything else, John? Hello and bye.
Tip your waitresses.
There you go. Go see a movie. And let us know what would Dom say. I don't know. We'll see you next time.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka.
And remember, fuck Jeff Snyder and fuck Tom King. Woohoo!
Yay.